What is going on, YouTube? It's the brain of the mainframe here, Nile Scala with the POPXP, and it's time, another time, for the weekend pop. And as always, joining me tonight is the POPXP crew. We've got Jennifer Van Damsel in the house. We've got Mr. Grizz, Jeffrey Ullrich in the house, and the man, the myth, the legend, a true Swiss Army knife of a creator, a Chick-fil-A eater and lover of the South, Mr. Adam Lawson. What's up, peeps?
Waffle fries with the Chick-fil-A sauce. That's
Up
when
to
you're
it.
in doubt about when you're gonna go live. Boom! Right before you're set.
We're exploring tonight. We'll be exploring the ambient noises, quite relaxing of eating. It's quite a trend now. So we'll be enjoying the delicious. Oh, here it goes.
That's a pretty good crunch.
That's a good
Just
crisp
saying.
right there, my man. Nice.
Salty with that tangy sauce.
Only if he had the sauce in the squeeze bottle, so he could just be like,
Dang.
"That didn't look
Nile,
great."
how did I forget that?
Jen, you were looking for content to make memes out of?
There you
it
go,
is.
Jen.
I just gave you the meme.
Yes, I can make some good stuff out of that.
Oh damn! Oh damn!
Don't be. I better not find that on X videos. Be careful there.
You're a shareholder as well.
Nile. We're not getting into that. I thought I told you it's private.
I'll tell you what we need to be getting into right now, and I think we all need to get into Jen's sack.
Oh, we're doing my sack. Yay!
Oh, we're doing it in sack?
We're doing it in the sack.
She's surprised every time.
I'm never ready. I don't know if we're gonna do it first or last, or I don't
That's
know.
the thrill of it. That is the thrill of the hunt.
All right. Here is my sack.
All right, here's the sack.
It's pretty light
Ooh.
today, guys.
It's a light sack.
It's a light sack.
Not you and Jeff. That's a light sack.
That's a light sack.
Oh, it's a tiny sack. It's a tiny sack.
There's a tiny
What
sack
is
in your
this?
sack.
What is this?
What could
Jen's
this possibly
sack
be?
attack.
OMG, guys!
What?
Hold on. Bubble wrap. Hold on, wait. I'm sorry.
While she's opening that, just want to give a shout out to everyone in the chat that's on Twitter and YouTube right now. Thanks for joining us.
And Twitch.
And
Right.
Twitch. And Twitch.
It's a new Disney ornament.
I knew it was going to be an
What?
ornament. Let's
Yes.
see it. What'd you get?
Let's make her big for this.
Oliver and Company.
Please.
Heck yes.
Yeah.
It's my first Oliver and Company one.
That is a super
Oh.
underrated Disney movie.
I know, and it's got the sausage.
Nice.
Nice.
I love a sausage, huh?
How exciting!
That's like Christmas all year round for you. You just need to have a tree set up in your studio that just you hang all the ornaments on all year round.
That's what all these glass cases are, all night ornaments.
But they're like imprisoned. They need to be free, hanging on the tree of Disney.
I cut off all the hangers because I
Really?
like them. Yeah.
Oh, we got 200-watt studio. Thanks for the $2 super chat. Less Chick-fil-A, more Jen's
Oh.
radiant smile,
Guys.
please.
200 watts.
What?
Damn.
Calamity
Wow.
Gannon. Hi, Jen.
Hi guys.
And I hit the wrong one. There we go. So that's what was in the sack. All right, all right.
That's
So not just having great sacks. I mean, how has your week been, Jen? What have you been up to?
Thanks for asking. I did 2 Garfield costumes this week, 2 different Garfield photo shoots. Would you like to see them?
That would be great.
We
Great.
would, and they were good. If people didn't peep that on Twitter, they were good.
Yeah, they were great.
We're about to peep it now, though, right?
Yes, this is a
Okay,
new,
please.
this is a new, never
Oh,
before
oh.
seen image.
This is like a premiere.
Yes. Okay, I have to do. Hold on. Okay,
What was the Garfield music? I don't even remember.
Hold
Odie.
how do I do this again?
God, I don't remember it. I watched the animated show all the
Share
time.
screen.
I know. He felt like the perfect cat friend, right? He was
Yeah.
lazy, ate a lot, and kind of got into trouble. And
He's
a kid that seemed like, yeah.
I liked the other animals that they had, like the pig and the sheep.
The farm
and,
animals.
Oh, the farm. Yeah.
yeah, I liked the farm stuff.
I just was watching them like 2 weeks ago for prepare for the shoot. I was doing my research, and yeah, I forgot that like half the show is those farm animals.
What was up with that duck with the life raft with the head that moved? Like whatever he did, the little head on the life raft did. That was freaky.
But it stuck with you.
It stuck with me. That's what I remember. Worse than the pig, right? Anyway, we're not here for the pigs.
Okay, ready? It was Garfield's birthday this month, which is why I did this. Okay, here we go. Let me see if this works.
Normal.
Share. Is it
There's Jen.
There's Jen.
So I call this my I Hate Mondays picture. Wow.
Mondays. Did Garfield have a bear?
Yeah, his name is
Yes,
Spooky.
he does.
Oh, he did have a bear.
Yeah, Spooky.
Off.
Okay.
B501st says, how cute.
Thanks, John. Okay, hold on. I have to. Oh God, how do I do another one? Sorry.
You just have to click your arrow in the box if you have them set.
My arrow in the box.
Your arrow in the box. Click it in the box.
Okay, well, hold on. All right, so this one, it's a little bit more.
Nice. Mike.
I'm not saying
Andrew Wilson, cool.
A little more risque.
There is an artist. His name is Dave Raposa. He is an amazing artist, very, very talented. He has his own Garfield comic. Garfield is
Nice.
a hooker.
Garfield is a hooker.
I bet this sells well. I bet this sells well.
I cosplayed as Garfield the hooker.
Nice.
Nice. I bet that could be a big hit in certain furry communities.
Oh.
Fire.
Hey,
We're
hey,
in
Garfield.
a lot of communities, not even necessarily just the furry communities.
Yes.
I feel like Odie needs to be like the pimp.
John is in the comic, and he is quite. I highly recommend Googling Dave Raposa Garfield.
Yeah.
It's the quotes alone are not appropriate for YouTube, and they are absolutely hilarious. So,
The Hooker Garfield comic would demand non-YouTube worthy quotes.
Yes.
It would demand it.
Okay, sorry. If I press the arrow, it's not going to go in order. Okay, here's my joke. Well, I might hate Mondays, but you know who doesn't?
Who?
Niall!
Oh, good. Oh, good.
And my mouth is open.
Yeah, you look like you're taking a bite out of Pookie there.
I know.
I'm excited for Monday.
Yay for Mondays.
Good stuff.
Well, I mean, Niall, this is a good look for you.
This does work for me.
Yeah, I hope it does.
Orange is a good color for you.
It's like, surprise, I'm in my bed. Who wants to clean out my litter box?
All right, but okay, next joke.
No.
200 Watt Studio is not pleased with that choice. They would like to go back to that original one of you.
All right, I got one more joke. All right, but you know who's got me beat as Garfield the hooker?
I don't like where this is going.
I have no idea.
Jeff's busy on a Saturday night. There he is.
Oh,
good God.
Yeah. You know what, Jeff?
I need longer hair.
Have a couple, and
this is
I
tough.
think I'm in. Jeff. Whatever.
Oh, boy.
I hope our whiskers tangle.
Yeah.
You're sexy, man. Sexy, man.
And I've always thought I was a good-looking guy. But
And this is proof that keto works.
This is what the end result's going to be.
That's not bad. Is Jeff single?
Oh,
Aggressively so.
Damn, Jen. So where can these fine folks get the set? Where can they view the new Garfield set? The actual set.
The actual set.
not the one, not the
Grizz
perverse
one. In the Scally one.
Well, I'm posting more pictures to Twitter, but you can see the rest of the set. I can't tell you where.
Oh, right.
You just have to check my Twitter.
Check the Twitter for the information.
Yeah.
Yes. That's right. The link will be in the description. Go head on over to the YouTube channel.
Oh yeah, head up to the YouTube
secret.
channel. You
And
can
everyone
watch
that's watching on Twitch, please come and support our YouTube channel. Give us a subscribe. And anyone that's over on Twitch and hasn't subscribed to Jennifer's page, head on over there and subscribe and sign up for her Twitch channel. And also head on over to Grizz's.
Yes, twitch.tv/goodgamegrizz. If you actually want to watch me play some video games, that's where I do that. Like I've been playing the new D&D Dark Alliances game that just came out on Game Pass here. And
How
I'll tell you,
that?
it is very mediocre, but it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to play with friends, and I'm playing with some friends, and so I am having a really good time with it.
Nice. All right, so let's jump into it, guys. So we had our a movie that popped out, direct to DVD, to home, to streaming, whatever you want to call it. Batman: The Long Halloween Part 1 finally premiered, and I think what is it, like in a month? Part 2 is going to come out or something like that.
Yeah, next month.
Yeah.
But this was the animated film adaptation from the comic book. Written by Jeff Loeb and illustrated interiors by Tim Sale, who's a phenomenal artist. And we saw. And I thought it was an interesting. I'm not going to say I was in love with this, to be honest with you, but I do just want to start off really quick. Is Jensen Ackles?
He's my boyfriend.
He's your boyfriend.
That worked out.
He plays
That worked
Batman. Not my favorite Batman.
Not my favorite Batman.
Not my favorite Batman.
He's not the worst Batman.
No, but it felt
He's
like he
not
was
the worst.
trying. He was trying. Like it was just.
It's a step up from George Clooney.
Yes,
It's a good,
yes,
solid markup from Clooney. Yeah.
I think the problem with every Batman voice actor is that they can't be Kevin Conroy.
Yeah.
So
That's the problem.
like they're all going to be worse than Kevin Conroy. Sorry.
That's true.
Why isn't he
That's
just
true.
doing all of them? Why? Is
Because
he
he's getting older, and eventually his voice is not going to match the age that they want Batman to be. Because unfortunately, voices do age. Granted, it takes longer than physical appearance does, but eventually his voice isn't going to match anymore. So they got to start finding who the next animated Batman's going to be.
Yeah. Beta Ray Bill, best Batman story ever. Fight me. All right, I'll see you in the alley. Grizz will be standing there waiting.
No, but I would be a little bit on Beta Ray Will's side, though. I mean, The Long Halloween, from the comic book standpoint, this is Seven meets Batman, right? It's this incredibly epic serial killer tale. It's everything that you love about Detective Comics, about Batman, about Gotham City, and it ties in all his villains and like the madness of the Joker and the madness of all these characters with Grundy and etc. And then the cool crime story tied into it, and it's pretty incredible architecture from a writing standpoint. And obviously Tim Sale's original pages are just, they're just incredible. So I would agree that this is this is probably up there with, where we're talking Batman Year One. We start to get into Batman, The Dark Knight Returns. I would put that, Hush. I would put that all in that litany of these are the finest Batman tales ever
And
told.
I think it's because of the focus on the detective work that we get in this. Because that's the thing that always sets apart the best Batman stories from the okay Batman stories, is how much emphasis they put on his detective work. There's a reason he's the world's greatest detective, and it's nice to actually show him doing that.
And he mentions that line in the comic book and in the movie. That I have to be more of a detective, and that's what was troubling him about the scenario of what's going on in this story. And then, it did have a great voice cast. We had
in general a pretty solid cast. Yeah,
Naya Rivera, rest her soul.
Rest in
I think
peace.
she's a great actress. Played Catwoman, and then Josh Duhamel as Harvey Dent.
Perfect.
I guess it's better than his other ventures lately. So hopefully this will get some better reviews.
Well, wouldn't you say from a cast standpoint, I agree with you, the voice, Batman was tricky, Joker maybe wasn't as strong. Those felt like kind of, and those have such a high standard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's kind of like, I wish Troy Baker would get in on this, from a voice standpoint, but it's like, I feel like those are maybe not as strong as they could have been in the piece. But I felt like maybe the thing that is maybe the undermining aspect of it, Grizz, and this goes back to what you talked about. What's that?
That was Troy Baker, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was Troy Baker. Yeah, I was gonna argue with that. I thought he did a great job as Joker in this.
Well, it is, but he doesn't have his own Joker voice though.
That's right.
He's just imitating Mark Hamill.
Yeah. Because Troy is, first of all, a great guy. I know Troy. I've done a lot of work together. He's great. I love Troy. And I think he's just one of the very best. And it's like, I think the competition between when you're voicing him, like it echoes like Heath Ledger. It echoes everybody who's picked up that voice, whether in live action or in animation.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
For sure.
And I love trying to, and I just wondered if there was a way to make it more distinctly.
I'm wondering if that's something that he can transition from. Like obviously he's been imping Mark Hamill's Joker in video games and movies for a while. Maybe that's something that as he continues to play the Joker, he can kind of shift the voice more into his own take on it. But
versus being the Mark Hamill version of the voice, right?
As far as Mark Hamill impressions, this is a pretty good
pretty
one.
spot on. Yeah,
Troy is flawless, and he's a heck of a guy. And so it's like, but like where I would love a sound that doesn't speak to that, right?
Yeah.
Because I don't think Mark Hamill is the title voice for the Joker, right? I don't think he's the best that's ever done it, and could it be something new and fresh?
Do you remember who did the voice of Joker in Under the Red Hood?
I don't.
I want to say it was John DiMaggio, I think. But regardless, the
who's
voice
also awesome.
But that was a completely different take on the Joker, and I kind of respect that. When they, if I didn't like it as much as Mark Hamill, but I appreciate the effort to make the Joker's voice your own, because you can't really ever capture the magic of Mark Hamill's Joker voice. It can't be done. But Troy comes close.
Troy comes very close. Very close.
I guess maybe where I was going with that, though, as I was trying to say with it, Grizz, to your comment last week, right, about talking about animation, is it's like I felt like it's great. You have this strong voice. You have this really strong voice cast. You have an amazing story. All these gripping tales, with the wife, Harvey Dent's wife, the Joker's madness, all this. But then you have animation that just feels Saturday morning cartoon.
Sure.
Right. Yeah. They just didn't deliver on the animation side that to make it feel unique or special in any resonant way. And maybe that's just me.
I agree. The animation. In still images, I think it looks great. I think in the actual animation of it didn't stand out. It didn't feel particularly special to me. One thing I did really like about this was the pacing. It's slower than a lot of the Batman animated movies, and so I think I'll actually end up enjoying this movie more when I can watch it back to back with Part 2.
Yeah.
Because it is a little slower, but it allows you to ease into the tension of the detective work. So I think once we get Part 2, that's just going to elevate that, and it'll end up being a 3-hour movie that I'll watch in one sitting instead of 2 hour-and-a-half movies.
Yeah, but that being said, I was really surprised with how enjoyable and how well they put together the character arcs and the character struggles and the emotion of it. I mean, this is good.
Yeah. Jen, what's your thoughts on the animated film?
I thought it was okay. Talking about how it was slow, I actually started watching it and then fell asleep because I was kind of bored. But I watched it again today, and I thought it was really good, except for it did get boring. But I really liked when they introduced the Joker. I thought he was a really cool aspect to add into this normal detective stuff. Totally. I love his crazy antics. You always why does Joker do the things that he does? And then they kind of he half-ass explains, well, when he gets into the plane, he's like, well, either way, whether I kill Holiday or not, at least I killed a whole bunch of innocent people by doing this. And so I really liked his, it would have been totally different if the Joker had not been in it at all. So I think he was a really positive part.
Added some good energy to it, because it did get kind of, I don't want to say boring, but it was very timid. And just kind of going through the story without a lot of action and stuff that you'd be familiar with Batman, because they were building that detective scenario up, I think. So the Joker added great energy.
And I think a lot of the big action set pieces are in the second half
I think so too.
Of Long Halloween, right? So we're going to get more of that in Part 2. I hope.
It depends on how true it stays to the graphic novel, but that's the case. The graphic novel kind of has this ramp, right, where it's we're in this discovery, in the gumshoe work, and then it starts to explode into the action.
Yeah. I mean, what were your other thoughts on it, Jen?
Oh, I was just going to say, with the animation and everything, it just wasn't special. If it's the same story as the comic book, and the comic book is so amazing, I don't feel like it lived up to that at all. It was just kind of flat, in my opinion. Yeah. I don't know. I guess it was worth watching, but I didn't think it was super special.
Can I just say something? I felt like the movie had this haze, the whole time. It drove me absolutely nuts. Now, I don't know. I wear glasses full time, right? And I hate having dirty lenses. And I felt like my glasses were dirty the whole time I was watching it. And I was getting so annoyed because there was like certain scenes where it was a little clear, right? It was a little more clear. But then the whole time it was more like this haze. Do you see what I'm seeing?
Well, yeah, but there's literally a cloud of
that's probably not the right
steam behind them.
Well,
yeah, that one's
hard to
hazy,
find an
Niall.
image. It was hard to find an image online that already had that, and I didn't feel like going through and cutting an image, but I just felt like the whole time there was like a haze. Like whenever like someone was on stage, it was almost like everything had this like weird haze to it.
Maybe they're going for like a smog sort of thing. I mean, Gotham is supposed to be kind of a grimy city, so maybe that's the aesthetic they're going for.
But not indoors. Not indoors. Or on cruise ships. Come on. But so far, though, let me ask your thoughts on this. You've all read the graphic novel? Or portions of it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How does this compare, starting with you, Jen, how does this compare to the graphic novel so far?
I haven't read the graphic novel in 15 years. I calculated it today. Haven't read it in 15 years. So I don't remember anything about it, which is why I'm very excited for the second movie, because I know that he's already kind of checked off the boxes of who he thinks it is, and it isn't any of those people. So now it's like, who could it be? So you definitely have to wait till the second movie to really figure it out. It's still totally like in the dark. You have no idea. So they set up a really good second movie because they give like no hints towards it so far.
All right, Grizz.
I mean, from what I've read the first half of the graphic novel because I wanted to make sure I'd read that before I watched the first half of the movie, and it's largely faithful to it. It brushes over some details, rushes through some of the dynamics between some of the characters, which is probably to the detriment overall. But I thought it was pretty good. They even included some things like Solomon Grundy gets his Thanksgiving dinner. And like that's not important to the story in any way, but it's something that is very memorable from the graphic novels. So I'm glad they included that.
Yeah. Well, I guess I would say now to that question is it's like I feel like one thing I loved so much about the graphic novel was the relationship between Catwoman and Batman, right? Mm-hmm. And I think at the core that's one of my favorite parts about both of those characters is them together. And I think this movie did a pretty good job of capturing that sensation, their relationship. I liked those sequences. So I would say on those kinds of notes, it really, and Harvey Dent's character, it really captured well. I just don't think that the animation gives you the cinematic sensation that Tim Sale's art did. Mm-hmm. That's what I keep coming back to. Is I'm just so underwhelmed when I think back to those panels that Sale did. Yeah. That's all.
Yeah. What about you, Niall? What'd you think?
So I did I reread the first half like you did. I kind of thought it went pretty well. Everything seemed pretty seamless for the most part. But again, like I was looking at the animation, and as an artist, it just did kind of bother me. Like the way Tim Sale's artwork is with the story, it has a haunting feel to it. Maybe that's why they're adding that smog to everything to cover up that it wasn't Tim Sale's work. The
best way I can describe the animation is unoffensive. Like they just tried to make an animation that's not going to bother anybody, and they did that. It doesn't bother me.
It's American anime style, as they call it. But the animation is not bad at all. Just like if you look at Tim Sale's work and you see that, it's like night and day. Yeah. We got Journey of the Shadow. Hey everybody, how we doing, Journey? Awesome. Now, so I got to ask you guys: was this a popped or not for you? Batman: The Long Halloween Part 1.
Who's starting?
Who's going first? Jen, you're first.
No, I don't think so. Not.
Grizz?
Not a pop.
I'm gonna give it. It's a pop. It's a pop for me.
I'm gonna go ahead and pop it for me.
I'm gonna pop it with you.
You guys are
it popped for me.
We all just said it was mediocre.
I'm popping it on the expectation that Part 2 is going to elevate it.
That's not the question. It's the first one. That's the pop.
It's still popped for me though.
I felt like there was a lot of good story and character in there. I just thought that the animation maybe didn't deliver. And something to be popped. I don't know that it has to be perfect, right? It doesn't have to be the
definitely
Godfather.
doesn't have to be perfect.
It's like microwave popcorn, right? It's not that perfect movie theater, right? It's that microwave popcorn. So it pops as good as it's gonna pop.
But there's some
it
kernels
might have burned a
left.
couple kernels. You might have a
kernels.
couple left, but it was decent. It was decent. You know?
Yeah.
The chat agrees with me. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
I think the chat's full of liars.
It's it.
They're all liars.
Oh, wow, our pops have been called into question.
Well, no, that's a really good thing. Chat, let us know what you think about it in the live chat here. We'll ignore your responses because you don't agree with us, and we'll move on to we're gonna move on to something that really pops, and we've got a special guest tonight. A special guest tonight. This is awesome. A great indie creator who puts together some amazing books. I've been stalking him. He doesn't even know it. I've been stalking him behind the scenes. Just incredible work. Everyone, I want to welcome TJ Sterling to the show. Hey, TJ, how we doing?
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Welcome to the POPXP, the week in pop.
This is fantastic. I mean, there's way more people than I remember the first time we did this, or we were trying to do it. I didn't know it was going to be this amount, so this is awesome.
Yes. So
there's a old guy in here.
TJ,
that makes me feel welcome. Thank you.
I'm trying.
TJ.
I'm trying. I'm getting there. But
TJ, I'm there, buddy. I'm there.
TJ, so happy to have you. Been following the stuff you do. You have RAE Comics.
Yes, sir.
How long have you had your publication going?
So I've been in business about 5 years. Yeah, and my flagship title, Alchemist, we are about 5 issues in, and I was just trying to make it as easy as I could on myself since I was drawing and writing all the titles when I first started.
Wow.
So I wanted to put out 1 book a year, and that was kind of what we did. And now we're doing a lot more than that.
Yeah, that's incredible. Now with the series, so you're self-publishing your stuff. You utilize Kickstarter. You have just actually recently completed a Kickstarter.
That's correct.
Now, can you tell us a bit about that campaign?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Kickstarter that I had just last month was for Joystick Angels, our second comic book series. It was my second Kickstarter too, second time ever doing Kickstarter. And if anybody knows, it's kind of a scary platform because it's, sink or swim. That's the only 2 options they give you.
Yeah.
And Joystick Angels was fun, man. It was a really cool title that was, was kind of like on a whim. Me and my brother were making dinner one day and hanging out and literally like, hey, why don't we make a space opera series about young kids that are fighter pilots that have to fight an alien race? Kind of like all those video games that we loved playing in the 80s and 90s. And he's like, oh yeah, that's a great idea. And that's how that happened.
That's incredible. Now, what's cool though about that is you're an artist. Now, your brother's an artist as well?
Well, he's a musician. Yeah, he's a musician. Yeah. He composes like he's a classically trained musician who can compose and write music, but he also does EDM and hip hop and pop and dance and R&B and a whole bunch of other wide range of stuff. And then he also engineers and produces for people. So he's a multi-talented musician for sure.
So
but you have a collaboration here. Oh, I'm sorry, Grizz.
I assume that the album that's available on the website for the Joystick Angels, that's your brother's music?
That's correct. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. And I'm assuming it's supposed to be a tie-in to the comic.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Thanks, man. Grizz, Adam, JBD, Nile. I forgot to just quickly say thank you for having me on. It's just a pleasure to be here. You guys have a very fun, exciting show, so I'm going to try to bring the energy tonight. And when it comes to energy, I try to create things comic book wise that feel right. And me and my brother, we share a studio space. So on one side there's comics, and the other side there's music. And I'm always listening to stuff he's doing, and he's watching the stuff that I'm drawing, and it's always this nice creative energy that's going on throughout the entire room. And I'm a humongous fan of OSTs. Like, I listen to original soundtracks all the time for, Marvel movies, for DC movies, for TV shows like Game of Thrones. Like, I love composers and, guys like Hans Zimmer. Like, they're really inspiring to me. So, and they are to my brother too, because he grew up loving comics just like I did in the 90s. So I was like, why don't you just do your thing, and make it for the characters. So it's an instrumental. There's 8 instrumental tracks that are all tailored to the essence of who each character is within the story.
So they already have built-in theme music for people to play in their heads while they're reading along.
Absolutely.
Nice. And this is the campaign you had on Kickstarter. Do you mind if I play the video you guys did for the campaign?
Yeah, go right ahead.
And this does look like a pretty dope campaign, and I back so many books, and I'm not sure how I missed this one. It looks like this fun ride that as a kid you wanted to take, as an adult you still want to take.
Yeah, I don't think I've really become an adult yet. That's at least what I tell my mother. Like, I'm not an adult. You see what I do for a living. So I never really grew up. And for me, I just didn't see a lot of indie comics out there that were doing space opera stuff. And I loved Star Fox and Darius Twin and Gradius and, all these cool games that were, just very off the wall space titles where like you have these really weird creatures you have to fight in space. Like, I just love that idea. Yep. And I didn't see anything like that in the comic book world. So I wanted to kind of fill that void, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. I'm going to play the video.
Gotcha.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's TJ Sterling, president and lead artist of RAE Comics.
And I'm Spencer Sterling, lead producer and artist at Mid Music. And we're raising funds for our fantastic new comic series, Joystick Angels.
Joystick Angels is a YA sci-fi space opera comic series centered on 5 teenage space pilots called the Angels. And they're seeking glory and retribution against the evil Eukarya, an alien parasite empire that actually has destroyed Earth and their families. If you're a fan of shoot 'em up space fighter video games like Gradius 3, Darius Twin, and Star Fox, you're gonna love this series.
We are looking to raise $8,000 for printing costs and production of Joystick Angels issue 1 and issue 2.
So what we're delivering is 2 full comics. That's 54 pages of content written by me and my brother Spencer.
Plus an original soundtrack composed by me.
And other really cool extras like access to our previous projects, including my last Kickstarter, Alchemist. Growing up, my brother and I were big comic collectors and avid gamers. Like most kids in the 90s, we spent a lot of our time in comic shops and arcades. But as time went on, our paths diverged a little bit creatively. I stayed in the comic book world and eventually created my own publishing and print RAE Comics.
And I decided to tell compelling stories through music as a producer and artist. We decided to make a comic series that blended both of our artistic disciplines into one cohesive project.
Joystick Angels was born. These pilots, Fox, Deuce, Tank, Dragonetti, and Legs, live on a satellite space vessel called the Libor Space Station, the last surviving human colony in the universe.
But before the Angels can fulfill their mission to save the universe, they must first compete against the entire space fleet in the Quantum Elite Space Tournament for the title of Supreme Squadron,
a competition that takes place once every decade to determine who will lead the charge against the evil Eukarya. Just so we're clear, production of the Joystick Angels project has already begun. Issue 1 is completely done, and issue 2 is almost finished as well. What we need your help with is getting all 54 pages published as soon as possible. We are so proud of the series and its amazing creators. We also have Nat Schoenle-Desma on interior art, Laura Servino on colors, Deron Bennett of Anvil Design on lettering, and Dr. Shamika Mitchell as our lead editor. Thank you for considering supporting Joystick Angels. If you can't back us financially, maybe you could share this on your social media with your friends, family, and fellow comic lovers, and tell them about this exciting new project we got coming out.
Thanks again for your time and support.
That book looks awesome, man.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I love the comments, reading them as they came in. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it seems like they're getting the whole dynamic there.
Yeah.
All right, so you're doing your own books. Tell us a little bit about Alchemist, because that was your first series that you did.
Yeah, man. Alchemist is basically like my love letter to the 90s. I absolutely loved the Sentai genre. I loved anime. I loved, Dragon Ball Z. I loved Spawn was like my favorite comic book back then. So I mean, I just was influenced by so many cool things during that time, and I kind of wanted to make a story that was kind of reminiscent of all those things that I liked, and that's really what Okemos is. Oh, look, and all these cool new Spawn Universe books just came out this week, by the way.
Did you read it yet? Are you going to read it?
I have not read mine yet. It's sitting on my desk.
Oh, TJ, you got to get in on this. You got to get in.
I hate to do this. Spoiler. Garbage. Oh, what?
Oh my god!
You are a liar.
Oh, garbage. You know it's not garbage? Okemos.
Thank you.
So, like, when I was reading through issue 1, I'm picking up some Power Rangers vibes. I mean, like we're talking about the Sentai genre. Were you a big Power Rangers fan as well, or like more traditional Sentai?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like I love the entire genre. So funny story is that I actually was a big Ultraman 6 fan before I was a Power Ranger fan. So I watched that, and then I watched VR Troopers, and then Power Rangers was like the third show that I watched. And that whole era too, like, I mean, I was a humongous Guyver fan too, if you guys remember the Guyver.
Guyver is epic, TJ. I'm glad you brought that up, because that's what I felt when I looked at these. I was like, oh, Guyver.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that yours is that, but you have your own unique take on it.
Yeah, I mean, I love that whole genre was my absolute favorite. So, I mean, you're going to get those inspirations in there in terms of the costume. The cool thing about this, though, is that the costume that these guys wear is not like a spandex or cloth costume. It's like an actual biomechanical suit of armor that is like nanite pieces of armor that, you know, is over their skin, and that's why it can move. There's like literally moving steel, if you will.
Well, and what I liked about it was because I was expecting something Power Rangers-esque when I was going into it. Just through issue 1, my expectations were immediately flipped on what the rest of the story is going to be like, and so I'm actually really interested to dive into it, because did not go the direction I was expecting at all.
Yeah, most people see the group and they think, oh, this is a team of good guys, and they're actually the villains of the story. So it's a little like, wait a minute, and then it gets more people interested in why we're doing what we're doing.
I love books centered around villains. Always my favorite. So interesting, so much other dynamics that you can add, so much unexplored territory, because not everybody does that. So I love that.
Yeah, you know, this concept of like, what is a villain? You know, there's like a fine line. I think so many of our great superhero movies, like whether like Heath Ledger's Joker character, or even like the Joker that you know, Joaquin Phoenix plays, like there's this, you know, line that, you know, that they just kind of cross over to become a villain, and it makes him feel very realistic. The same way they did with Thanos. He seemed like a very, very realistic villain that you could relate to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna just screw up this name, so I'm just gonna read the comment. It sounds like something my husband would like.
Is it really awesome?
There you go. You read all the names.
So there's a guy in here named TJ James. That's pretty cool. I just had to notice TJ real quick.
TJ James, he's an admin. He's an
That's
admin.
right.
He's a good friend of mine.
Hey, TJ. Andrew Wilson, good evening.
Yes, we got a whole slew of Twitch streamers and YouTube streamers in the house.
That's fantastic, man.
So it's awesome. So I got to ask, man, so you're doing your own books and stuff. Have you worked on other people's books, or has it only been your stuff?
I have worked on other people's books. So I give you a little bit of my history. So I started in the comic book industry as a fan. Like I started going to comic conventions in 2005, and I just went to show my portfolio, and I did that for years. And during that time, I was going to school for art, so I got a degree in illustration and design. And then eventually, I got an internship working at Marvel, where I was doing production stuff. So I get pages from like John Romita Jr. or Klaus Janson, and I would have to format them for print and publication. And I had a really good time meeting, because a lot of those artists came into the actual building in Madison Avenue in New York, Marvel offices. So I was there for about a year, and that's kind of where I learned the business of how to create a comic book from the ground up. And then started RAE Comics shortly after that. But again, I did a cover for Dark Horse during that time while I was creating RAE Comics. I did some stuff for Aspen a couple of years ago, one of their tribute books. I worked on Batman Giant #5 for DC.
Oh, cool.
So every once in a while, I dip my foot into the big two and the other companies as well.
Do you like working for the big two, or do you rather prefer working for yourself?
The interesting thing is that I started out with the goal of just working for them. And that's why I went to each con and showed my portfolio and said, hey, I want to work for you guys. But as I got a little bit more knowledgeable of how the industry worked, I found it to be more lucrative and more rewarding as a creator to see your own ideas come to fruition, and then building a fan base around something that's different. It's like, hey, I'm a legit comic book guy. Like, I've been collecting comics since 1986, so it's like I love the genre to my core. So I know how to tell good stories, know how to do something fun and out there. So why don't I just believe in myself, try something out, and play in my own sandbox and someone else's instead of someone else's. Excuse me.
I like that.
I love that.
No, TJ, I think that's the core of what makes comics so fun, because the barrier to entry, from a financial state, is so much more manageable than film or video games. It's an opportunity for you to create a fully realized expression of your characters and your story with your own two hands, right?
Exactly.
And it's really engaging. I think that's, for myself, as both a fan, as a creator, I'm interested in chasing down Okemos and Joystick Angels, because Frank Miller's already written the best Batman tale, and that's okay. And, you know what I mean? But there's so many other tales that are still exciting out there that you haven't explored. Like this one with this, somehow you have a panda star pilot that I'm interested in finding more out about. You know what I mean? I want to meet that panda. So that's cool.
I'll tell you the thing that I'm most hooked on from Joystick Angels is the different starship designs. I'm a total sucker for that. And like, honestly, I can picture buying model kits, for all the different starship designs.
You just gave an idea right there, Grizz.
Yeah.
Dude, absolutely. What really makes it worthwhile for me is being able to hear you guys say that. That you see the vision beyond what I'm giving you. And that is, how do you say it? I think one of the things that Joe Quesada had said to me while I was, doing a portfolio review with him, because they would do that with all interns. The butts, like, you have to put butts in the seat. It's like baseball. So when other people come to this game and say, hey, I would love to see, A-Rod do this, or, Sammy Sosa, or whoever your favorite baseball player was at the time, you can visualize what they might do, or I want to see him hit this many home runs. You're so invested that you see the future of the sport. It's a powerful thing, man. And I really believe in the guys and the gals that support the RAE Comics and Okemos and now Joystick Angels, because I'm working for you guys. Like, I'm not working for me. I'm doing stories that I like, but I am working for you guys for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question.
Yes.
So since your brother is helping you with music for Joystick Angel, any chance that he's going to go back and do some stuff for Okemos?
That's a great question. I have had quite a few people that are musicians that said, hey, I've been wanting to do something for a comic too. And
oh, cool.
What do you think about if I create like an OST, or if I, there's so many different types of questions that I've gotten about that I'm not honestly still trying to figure out how to approach Okemos, because it was never like a musical thing, because Joystick Angels is at its core something that is supposed to have music. If we're thinking video games or we're thinking animation, like, music comes along with that. So it almost would be like rethinking what I would do with Okemos. Maybe it would be, I don't know, real people, on there with lyrics and stuff. I don't know. I'd have to think about that.
I just think it's really almost like music, because it's kind of like, comic books, you work with an artist, with a colorist, but like adding musicians to like the very typical house of comic book artists would be really cool.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And first of all, JVD, tell me more about your, what this, obviously JVD, what does it stand for, and then what's your IG? I'm not seeing it on the thing.
Oh, it's Jennifer Van Damsel. I make it short because when I'm wearing low cut shirts, you can't see my boobs. So,
Oh, okay.
so I made it short. But yeah, Jennifer Van Damsel. I've got Instagram, Twitter, and all that other stuff.
Awesome. Hopefully everybody's watching this. You're following the host because all this whole group.
They are. They're following her.
Jen's kind of amazing.
Yeah,
She's kind of amazing.
guys.
Well, that background looks incredible. By the way, you've got a case, and it looks like there's figurines back there, and you have
all
your
my
own.
Disney figures. Oh
You
my
got
god!
And also your Ava stuff. You have your Ava stuff.
Oh
in
yeah,
there,
my
too.
Ray shrine.
The Evangelion's in there. Right, Yep.
Yes, my
You
whole. I
got
have
your
a whole
own sign. That's incredible.
Thanks.
I want my own sign. This is my bedroom wall that you're looking at, ladies and gentlemen.
You gotta
She's
get
got
a
her
really
own
big
sign.
Joystick Angels one, a really big name of your
Just get
publisher.
a green screen.
No, that's practical. Your background sucks. Look at mine. Everybody always Everybody always says something good about mine.
Jen, throw
You
that
can do
down.
you can do so many things with the green screen, Jen.
I gotta look. I have a look. Okay.
There's so many things you can do. Like, I mean, let's go hang out in my studio. Now it
Oh,
looks like I'm
amazing.
sitting in my studio.
Actually, I kind of like
Which is
that.
actually right over there.
You
But
see,
because
now
there's a wall
you
here.
and Jen have the best backgrounds now.
You say best boobs?
Yes.
Is that what you just said? I'm glad you
He
noticed.
did.
Thank you.
Make your name shorter so they can see Nile.
You see that? I gotta make mine shorter too.
I gotta cut this out.
And I will wear a low cut shirt next time. Typically, I don't wear shirts in my interviews. And if you've seen any of my
Look, I can hold the bottle.
typically,
See that?
I
I can hold
go
the
shirtless.
bottle. But dude, can I just say something? It's so cool seeing your first issue of Okamus up to issue 4. And seeing that your evolution, though, like you do, because like as any artist, right? This is a trade, this is a craft. The more we do it, the better we get. And it's so cool to see the evolution of the art. And dude, I mean, damn, man, you can draw.
Thank
You can freaking draw, and all these designs. This all comes from you, right? I mean, you're the penciler, right? So I mean, all the stuff, the ships that you're designing for Joystick Angels, all the costume designs you did for Okamus. I mean, this is cool. Like, I would love to see like someone pick this up. To be honest with you, I think Okamus would be really refreshing because of the story take, right? Because it's not like your general good guy, bad guy thing, or at least the appearance of it. I think it brings it to a whole different take, and it's so well written. The art is phenomenal. Really, everyone out there, you got to head over to the website. It's in the description of the show below. You'll probably see that with the subscribe button. Make sure y'all hit that and smash that bell to get likes, and everything else on that. But you got to click that link and check it out. Even just to start, $5, you get a digital copy. I've purchased the digital copies so I could have them. Now I'm curious though. Joystick Angels is on the website. Is that actually available on the website?
It is available for pre-order at the moment.
For pre-order, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
so
Well, then I'm gonna have to do that. I'm gonna have to get in on that.
Yeah, so we've got 2 covers here. We've got our traditional cover A, which is by the Zong brothers, and it's a very an intimate setting where the group is basically looking at some plain schematics. It's really, really fun. And then we've got a wraparound cover from Marcus Williams for cover B. So totally up to you what you guys want to check out. But yeah, it's available for pre-order currently.
There you go. Nice. Gorgeous.
Well, I solved that life problem.
Yep.
Joystick Angels on the pre-order.
Yeah, so for everybody's who's watching who does order, because I've got a lot of pre-orders past Kickstarter, we're looking to start shipping books out late July into early August. So tiny bit of a wait, but really not that long.
I was gonna say that doesn't sound that long to me.
Yeah, I mean, July will be here in no time. August will be here in no time. And the beautiful part is that all the Okamus books are currently in stock. So everything, if you want to order an Okamus title, whether it's digital or physical, all that's in stock. So the only thing that's not in stock right now is what's on pre-order for Joystick Angels. That includes the soundtrack too.
Nice. So are you gonna where are you going for your next camp? So I assume your next book you're gonna do the Kickstarter as well. Will that be another issue of Joystick Angels, or are you continuing on with Okamus?
That's a great question. So first of all, everybody who is who I didn't get a chance to explain Alchemist at all. So a little bit about the elevator pitch of what Alchemist is. Sci-fi martial art action tale about a young guy that has a latent superhuman ability that could potentially save the human race. And he's being pursued by 4 villains, mechanized warriors that look like rangers or look like, Tokusatsu Sentai characters from the future that want to steal that power from themselves. So lots of action, drama, suspense. We've got 5 books in that series. So if you get one, you've got plenty of other books to entertain you until Joystick Angels comes to your door. Again, Joystick Angels is a totally different type of book, but it's something really, really fun and unique. We were only asking for $8,000 initially, but we made $23,000 at the very end of this thing. So that should give us enough to pay for the production of 1, 2, and 3. That's what our hope is, to take that bank and just stretch it out as far as we can. So we don't have to do another Joystick Angels Kickstarter for a while. I have another 4 books in development though. The other 4 books I have are collaborative books. And then one other new book that I just got done writing about it's like a YA magic story. So the next Kickstarter you're going to see is a collaborative Kickstarter between me and Newton Lillebois, who's the writer and creator of Crescent City Monsters. Another really cool indie book.
Yeah, no way. In fact, I just got my copy of that. I just read it. Super dope. The line work on that was amazing, right? I mean, it's just something else.
Bernal, his artist, is incredible. I think he's
just something else. Yeah.
Yeah, otherworldly, man. He's like, I kind of joke with him because he's like the David Finch of Asia. Like, he's so good and incredible. Because when I look at his work, I see a different, like, David Finch-ish type of work. Like, it's very, very 90s. But him and I wrote a story together, actually, and we it's called Villainous, and it's a cyberpunk noir tale about. It's actually centered around a villain. He's the main character of the book, and no one's supposed to like him. It's almost
Jen
like
smiled.
Anything like Jen's genre.
Yeah,
cyberpunk noir is Jen's genre. She's all about that.
Yeah.
I absolutely love cyberpunk. I love steampunk. I love these types of stories where you get futuristic tech that's not supposed to exist, but then there's old school types of vibes to it as well. So this is a really cool story because Villainous is the first time I've collaborated with someone that a whole nother comic book company. So we co-wrote it together. Issue 1 is basically actually done already, and then issue 2 is halfway done. So that Kickstarter should debut probably by the end of next month. And that's another collaborative thing that we're doing. So that'd probably be the next thing that you see from me.
So make sure you tag me so I can share it on Twitter.
Make sure to follow TJ on the various services so that we know when this next Kickstarter is happening.
Definitely. I will be bugging now, like, hey, I've got another thing.
No, anytime, man. Come on, hang out. We've got a bunch of different shows and series. If you want to come back on this one, or we can even do a more intimate session.
Love to.
On crowdfunding comics.
Yeah.
On crowdfunding comics. But there is a Journey of the Shadow. Just wanted to get his name. That's insane. You're an inspiration to me, TJ. Much respect.
Thank you.
That's why I just love the passion you have for what you're doing. It definitely radiates, give off a great aura to yourself of just, positivity and just hard work, man. You believe in your product, you're making your product. I have a question. Are your books being sold in any local comic shops?
Yeah, so I've got a couple. My books are in a whole bunch of shops in New Jersey. There are a whole bunch of shops in New York City. Cool. I'm trying to think. I've got some books in Michigan, Philadelphia, a couple of places around. I think I've got some in Toronto, Canada as well. So, I mean, they're scattered. But, I mean, I find that, as much as I love local comic book shops, I love going to cons more and meeting people. So it's like I try to have like my stock like full for cons because I'll sell out pretty frequently. So it's like, let me meet you. Let me meet people, talk to them. I'll sign the books. Because if it's in a store, they can't really get it signed by me unless I'm doing the signing. Mm-hmm. So I am in shops, but I'm not super aggressive about getting into more, I guess, to answer that question.
Are you going to be going to some cons here soon?
Yeah. I'm going to be at a show called BlurredCon in Virginia. That's next month in July. I've got Awesome Con in DC shortly after that. I've got Dragon Con Atlanta.
I want to go to Dragon Con.
Yeah,
Dragon Con's incredible. And so, has anybody been to Dragon Con yet?
Yeah.
Jen has.
We're great show, right? And
she's a cosplay girl for sure.
Amazing.
Yeah. It's hard to work that show because you just want to stay up hanging out all night, and all the lobbies are open really late.
The party scene in Atlanta is really insane. Whether it's in a hotel or at a venue, like it's it's tough to work that show. Like sometimes I want to just come and just enjoy it for a fan perspective. Maybe one day when I can pay someone to run my booth, maybe.
Grizz will do it for you.
You
both have the nice beard.
Yeah.
You got the nice beard. Everything.
He works for a plane ticket in a hotel room.
Already, people might stick to me.
I should be so lucky.
Yeah, Dragon Con gets 5 gens.
Wow.
You have to be really careful though. I was wearing my 1887 Emma Frost costume, so it's all white. Get in the elevator and somebody spilled beer all over me, and I started crying because it was all my white costume smell like beer. So be careful what you wear at Dragon Con, guys.
I'm not wearing any of my lace cosplay stuff.
Yeah,
for that
I'll leave my Emma Frost costumes at home.
Please.
Do you hit up any conventions in the Northeast at all?
Yes. So let's see here. I may be doing a show in Connecticut. I'm definitely going to be doing New York Comic Con. What else? I'm debating on doing a couple of shows in Florida. There's MegaCon and Florida SuperCon. So I'm thinking about those in the South. I'm not sure about the West Coast.
Which show in Connecticut?
Terrificon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there we go.
Terrific.
Yeah.
We were all supposed to go, but then Nile's child's birthday is that weekend.
Damn, Jen. Jeez.
How dare your child have a birthday now?
Oh my gosh. Unbelievable.
TJ gets it.
Which one does he get? Me or her? We're like his angel and devil on either side. I'm like, I have to giveth my child the bestest birthday ever. And she's like, just skip it.
Birthdays are for losers.
Jen's like, F your kids.
I know, for real. Now, Terrificon's my local con. I'm in Connecticut, so I definitely with that one. So that's a good convention if you can go to it. I'm probably going to get there. I'm either going to go there Friday or Sunday. Saturday I can't.
Yeah, I just heard about it like 2 weeks ago. So I mean,
you might be sold out.
Yeah,
you might be sold out, but there's no. You can reach out to Mitch Halleck. Just email. Go to the website. Yeah,
gotcha.
You'd be like, hey, I know Nile. Well, no, you want to probably get into the show. You could be like, hey, I found out about your cool convention, and then
and beg for a bag so I can just circulate. Yeah,
that's cool. But I'll be at New York Comic Con. That'll be fun. That'll be good times. Jen's coming. It's gonna be a good time.
Yeah.
Grizz and Adam will be there.
Yeah. Oh, awesome. for sure. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're gonna all have to do group pictures and stuff, and at least hang out and
we'll go out for tapas.
We can stay at Nile's house and have a big old slumber party.
Nile's got to be careful. Nile's got to be careful.
In New York, I don't live in New York.
Oh, because it's not close enough. We don't live close enough in Connecticut.
No,
to New York.
That's an hour. That's an hour and a half train ride, bro.
In Texas, 4 hours to the next biggest city.
Yeah.
Wow.
We can stay at my mother-in-law's. She's in New York. She has a swimming pool.
I'm just saying, be careful what you invite me to, because I will show up.
Oh, I'm sure you will.
I've been known to crash at people's houses during con, so
you have to
say the word.
You have to. Well, TJ, man, I really appreciate you coming on. It's so cool talking about your books and everything that you're doing. And once you have that other campaign going, shoot me a message or something, and we'll definitely do something. And we'll do an episode just spotlighting your campaign. We'll talk a little more. Maybe I'll get some other people on the stream, a couple other pros to chat about, what you're doing and just crowdfunding.
Well, that'll take all of us out. If he's going to get the pros on, we all got to go home,
I said some other
Sorry.
pros, so that means more people.
Yeah, I think you'd love to have Noon on. We
can get drunk.
Yeah. I mean, all that. We should do that. We should all sip a beer. There is a podcast I do, and they drink beer during their podcast only. I can't remember the name of it. I think was it Beers and Gadgets or something? It's one of those types of weird names, but they drink beer in their podcast, so we should do that too.
No, seriously, we do that.
I'm a sober man, so you'll be getting some, Kirkland sparkling water, but I'll be there.
That's fine. You got some
Costco.
bubbly. We got bubbly. As long as there's some type of bubbly, we're good.
Wait, are we? No, we're not sponsored by them, are we? I mean,
we're sponsored by Costco.
Yeah, we're sponsored by Costco.
Because that's
I
how
have
you pick
my
that up.
Kirkland alkaline water.
I have my Kirkland grapefruit sparkling water. TJ, what's your Kirkland product?
What is my Kirkland product? That's a great question. Spring water.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
I
Spring
mean,
water from
are we
DJ.
going to see Okemos available, the Kirkland version available for Okemos?
I gotta hope not.
You say that back in the day when I was young, this was like early 90s, Costco and like Sam's Club and all those big wholesale stores, they used to sell big bundles of comic books.
That would be so cool.
And you would get like 12 to 20 comic books in this massive bundle. It'd be like
Yeah.
a row of 3 on one side, and then on the back you had like another, and it was like 6 and 6. It was freaking great, and it was a mix though. It was crazy. I loved it. I don't do that anymore. Which is memory lane.
I definitely miss buying stuff at the grocery store, comic book wise. I really think people should bring that back. Like seriously, right before you walk and buy your groceries, you can get a comic book.
They should. I bet you. I'll be honest with you, with how nostalgic our generation is, and especially millennials and stuff like that. Like we're so nostalgic with what we do that, you know, I think if someone started putting spinner racks back in stores, I think it would take. I think you'd at least get a good few years out of it.
Yeah,
Especially
it seems to be like
with
the trend.
Yeah.
It seems like though that the trend is the opposite direction. It feels like what the actual desire is not floppies, because their sales just are plummet every month, and it's actually more graphic novels, right? And manga sales go up every month, and they don't sell floppies, right? They sell 144 pages and so it's like I feel like the trend has maybe swung the other way, that like when you want to grab something, it's less like collecting every issue, and it's more like, oh, I can get a full story.
Here's the whole
Yeah.
story.
Well, it's like Netflix
Here's
the entire.
Yeah, we've just gotten over this like, hey, this appointment set experience. I think we've lost that feeling. At least the sales would indicate that, TJ. Because I get what you're saying too. It's like I liked that experience, but the trends just seem to say, don't you're crazy, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm working on doing more trades, honestly, because there's.
That's what I was going to ask.
Now, is Okemos going to be a trade soon?
It is, yeah. Because so Okemos number 5, I'm halfway done drawing that. That's going to be done by late July, so that'll be ready by like August.
So you're going to be really busy July and August.
Oh man, it's going to be crazy. I think June is like this last 2 weeks are my most relaxed weeks, even though I'm drawing a book and managing a million other things. It still feels much more calmer than a Kickstarter and con season.
Oh, con.
Sure.
For sure.
Oh, we forgot a great Kirkland brand here. Brian,
Chewable
Christoph, how
morphine.
you doing?
Wow.
Kirkland chewable morphine.
Brian.
I guarantee it's the real thing.
Brian's one of the best guys
Brian.
out there. For
We
the
know
record.
Brian.
He's one of the best guys out there, and you need to have him on.
Six Gun Gorilla.
6 Gun Gorilla. Cemetery Without Crosses is out. Little plug there for Brian because he's one of the best.
Brian is the 6 Gun Gorilla guy.
Six
Yeah,
Gun
and
Gorilla.
That is
and
a great series, by the way.
Isn't that amazing, TJ? Like,
Yeah.
I've backed well over 100 indie books, and like I would put that in certainly my top 5.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, for sure. As far as like just like the quality of the writing and like the joy of it, because sometimes you get an indie book that maybe has good writing, or the art's off, or the art's great and the writing's maybe because I can understand because there's a lot of people who are new to it, right? So there's a lot of forgiveness, right? But sometimes you get something together where it connects, right? Like where you get both of them in the same package, and it just really flips you, throws your lid. So, anyways,
Was that
That's
profile
awesome.
picture like a cover of one of his books?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is.
It's like it's this big, but that art is insane. Holy
Very,
crap!
very cool.
Yeah, check it out. If you guys check it
A
out.
gorilla with a fedora and a gun. You
I
can't get better
know.
than that.
Hey, TJ James, I know you're out there. Get a link in that chat for 6 Gun Gorilla. But anyways, TJ
Right.
Sterling, thank you so much for coming on and chatting with us. It was great sharing all your stuff. So yeah, we'd love to have you on again.
love to come
Please
back.
keep us in the loop of what you're doing. If you got anything going on, tag us in any of your posts if you're trying to promote. We always are pushing, a bunch of artists, creators, and things. So whenever we know about something, we'll help continue spreading the word. And
Awesome.
it's so awesome to get you on for an episode of Crowdfunding Comics. I think it'll be awesome.
Definitely. Jen, Adam, Grizz, now it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me on. And
total
I would love to
pleasure,
come
TJ.
back. So hopefully see you guys really soon.
Perfect.
Thank
All
you.
right, have a
TJ.
great night. Have yourself a great weekend.
You too. Later, guys.
We'll talk to you later. Bye. Such a cool dude.
Yeah, he was awesome.
That was
Dope
great. How many?
guy.
I love the idea of the music with the comic. I just picture press and play on the album as I start reading. You know,
are you familiar with Z2 Comics? They've really hit this already on the head with Z2 Comics, and so what they do is except it's like Rage Against the Machine, and Jason Aaron, some massive art writer does a comic, and so there's a music element, there's a vinyl to it, and it's a really cool experience. The problem is the price point's crazy. It's like $150, right, to get into those kind of things, but it's like the experience is really rad, and if you could do it at an economy scale, I totally think it'd be awesome.
Nice, excellent. Well, I got to ask you all a question. Is anyone on here a Rick and Morty fan?
No.
You're not a Rick and Morty fan?
No, I think it's for people with a real lack of taste. But
oh, that's me.
Just kidding. I'm just kidding. Are you kidding?
I think it's brilliantly written. I think it's
I'm kidding with you, dude. I'm kidding with you.
I think it's great.
You can hate it if you want. I'm okay with you being wrong.
Dude,
awesome. Let me put my water bottle back because we got to talk about this, and I need both hands to talk. So I wish I could do it.
No, Rick and Morty's awesome. Are you kidding? Yeah. It's great.
I gotta say, everyone, the season 5, right? Episode 1 premiered, and everyone and their mother, I was getting messages. Are you going to talk about it on the show? Are you going to have this? You're going to do that? Oh, it's the best one I've seen yet, and so on and so on. And so I watched it, right? And I was like, it's brilliant. Like I think about it, right? What series on television can do what they want? Like, you wait for them. Like, it's not about, at least that's how it appears. Maybe you know different, Adam. But literally, it first appeared in 2013. Season 1, episode 1 aired 2013. It is now 2021, and they're only on season 5 because they make you wait. They don't want to rush their material. If they're not feeling something, it's on their schedule, and it goes like gangbusters every time. I mean, come on, like, this episode was just another brilliant case of like no good deed goes unpunished, which they do so freaking well. And I think Rick and Morty is just brilliant. Like, I loved the season premiere episode. It's one of the only series, just for those out there that want to know me, I can watch multiple episodes over and over again. Like, they don't get too boring for me. But I have to ask, I have the love for the show. Jennifer, do you have the love for the show? Did you watch the season 5 premiere?
I did. I would like to start off by saying I have never seen Rick and Morty before. This was my first experience with the show. I wrote it down. I thought Rick and Morty were the worst part of the whole show. They were really annoying, and I liked all the other content, like the traveling and all the like dog humanoids and how that like time period progressed. I really liked that. But every time it would flash like Rick and Morty, I'd be like, oh gosh, this is like so annoying. I thought all of the overly sexual jokes were really immature. It's like they relied so heavily on all of these sexual references that there was like no humor anywhere else. So that was really lame.
Really? Yeah. You didn't enjoy the humor of like the dogs, like the revenge tale that spans.
I liked.
That's what you liked.
That's humorous. There's
what about
humor there.
I know.
What about Nimbus? Like, Italians talk with their hands. This dude like talked with his junk.
Yeah, but that's like
but
this isn't the only sexual thing. Like,
it's far from it. Yeah, of course.
Like, it was all this sexual humor, nothing but sexual humor, and it's like,
I guess I'm just a pig. Jesus.
So I think
I want a little bit more from my comedy.
So I will say this episode certainly relied more on sexual humor than some of the other Rick and Morty episodes do. That's one thing I will say. One of the reasons I like the show is that they will tackle different genres and tropes with different episodes. So that's why I like watching it, because you can.
TJ, you might want to edit your things here.
You can. There's certainly episodes I like better than others. I liked this one. I don't think it was necessarily the best one they've ever made, but I did enjoy it. But I think with Rick and Morty, there's fans, and then there's fans.
Yeah,
and
there's fans.
The people who are insane in love with this show, they go over the top and blow it out of proportion into something that I don't think it is. But it's good, senseless fun most of the time, and that's kind of what I want for a show that I can just flip on and watch a couple episodes of.
Yeah, and I just want that toilet humor. That's me.
Now, also, pick back up your Kirkland. Pick back up the Kirkland.
I do want to say, Rick and Morty are terrible.
Like here or here?
So, like, Jen saying she doesn't like Rick and Morty, like the characters, does not surprise
my
me at all.
shape is too sexual. Damn it.
Rick and Morty they're garbage. It's particularly Rick, and that's kind of the point, is that Rick is a garbage
He's
person.
a garbage human being. He's absolute
He's
garbage.
annoying.
And
Like,
he's
I'm
turned
fine with
Morty
being garbage.
Oh, come on,
person.
come on, Jen, come on. Oh, geez, Jen. Oh, man. I think we need to, why don't we change the topic then?
Oh my God, you're killing me.
Jeez.
I hate it.
Yeah. Whatevs. It's a good
I
cartoon.
really think he was joking. Were you joking?
Who?
Adam.
No,
No,
Rick
I
and
think
Morty,
Adam really hates it, but he's like, oh, man, Nile's not a bad guy, and I feel like I just tore him a new one. So
Yeah, I should just
he's
say
like,
it, yeah.
I think it's fucking garbage.
You don't have to like it, Adam. We're fine with you not liking it. I still hang out with Jen. She hates most things.
I think the thing about it is it kind of resonates on a similar level to South Park, which, anyways, these have great legacies, these shows do. There's not maybe my particular go-to, do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that's all I would say about it, because I think they have amazing legacy. What they do is exceptional. They do these, I just don't, at what they are, it's just maybe not what I would do with my free time. That's what I mean by that, right? In the same way, like, I don't also watch, I also don't watch the NBA. It's not because it's bad sport. It's just not the one I love to watch, Yeah.
That person loves it. That's what I'm gonna take that as. They're on my side.
That's a full love.
Yeah.
Ojisan feels you. Yes, for sure.
That's what I'm taking it that way. So don't crush it, okay? Don't crush my dream.
Certainly no way they were giving a love to Jennifer and not Rick and Morty. There's no way it was that.
They're there for me.
Definitely not.
They're there for me. Don't worry about it. Didn't you see me in my little box? I was like,
Wow. Yeah, just like that.
So you can meme
I
that
just
one
gave you
too,
some
Jen.
more meme material, Jen. That's what I'm doing here. Anyways, Adam, you brought something to the table. You made a recommendation for a pretty fun. Is it an all ages book?
It is.
Is it? I actually enjoyed it. For an all ages book, I enjoyed it. Really curious to see what Jen thinks. But really enjoyed the book. It was quite an adventure. And I'm going to pop it up here on the screen.
Whoa.
Wait. We didn't pop or not for Rick and Morty.
Oh, you're... Yeah, he just...
Oh, no, she's right. She's
we
right.
have to pop or
I
not.
feel like we didn't have to.
No, that's the point. We got to do it.
All right, let's pop it. It popped for me.
It was the worst. No pops. The opposite of pop.
It's like there's a lot of kernels still unpopped in there.
A lot of unpopped kernels in Adam's
There's
bag.
a lot of unpopped kernels. I think I'm more on Jen's camp with this one here. It's a lot of unpopped kernels.
I should say so. You came out of the gate. It's the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
I mean, I was being facetious because I know it's Nile's best friend, but
I'm a sad person, That's all I can say. Grizz, did it pop for you, bro?
Yeah, no, I gave it a pop.
Yeah, you did. Popping over here. Step
aside.
Anyways, you weren't dancing with me. Thanks again, Grizz. So, I was going to show it, but you started showing it, Adam. What do we got lined up for everyone?
You could read a story about an Asgardian, by Marvel, that they claim to own, which you don't. And you could follow about a guy with a hammer, or you could get into Scales and Scoundrels.
Whoa.
Wow.
Threw it.
There it is. Boom, like that.
Nice.
Scales and Scoundrels. This is the adventure all ages tale that still works for me at 40, and it still works for my nephews at 10. It's this awesome tale about Luvander, this girl who is this adventurer / swashbuckler / overeater / likes to burp and get gold, and maybe she breathes fire or maybe she doesn't. Don't want to spoil too much there, JVD. But the art is beautiful, as you can see, and it's this really fun pages of art that you just want to dive into. It's this incredibly cool story about her adventures in her endless effort to seek treasure, which always seems to be one step away from her, plus her growing up and facing realities. And it's just so well written. The art really takes you in there. It's like, it's the D&D adventure, Grizz, you want to be playing. Right? At its core.
I do have a bone to pick with this, Adam.
Oh, boy.
I just want to touch on Adam's got, He's got throwing away trades money, apparently. You can just throw away trades like they're nothing. I'm like, no, give me the book, Adam.
I bought that one from the public library for $1.85, so I feel less.
Bought
It's
it for a
got
gag.
that plastic protector sleeve and everything.
Did you see that?
Yeah. It's got the little sticker on the right there on the spine.
But what's cool about this one, before you get to your full gripes, see this TKO Studios. So this has been published before, but they publish it. This really cool, these cool trades that you can get. There are about 10, 12 issues in them. And TKO Studios is an awesome indie studio that's on its way up. Anyways, and I call this part of what I call the Dungeon Run trilogy of indie comics. Scales and Scoundrels, Headlopper, and Raiders. These are like the best Dungeon Run comics that exist. And at least I feel in my heart. They're just truly engaging. But if you want to start somewhere, this is all ages. They're all pretty friendly, but maybe they have some language in the others. But this is a win for anybody who wants just a good, enjoyable read. I'll leave it at that.
I'm going to agree with you on. I think it's well written. Okay, I know it's all ages, but the art didn't do it for me.
Gotcha.
I found the art a bit troublesome.
Is it because it's kind of it feels a little bit more juvenile in its design, right? It's appealing to try to catch a younger audience as well. Was that what it was for you, or is it the color?
I don't mind like special techniques and things, but I felt like there was just some poorly executed illustrations in this book. Which to me found like with this panel. This was the panel that really, I don't know why this bothered me right here.
I think it's because it looks like
panel
she has
5,
like a cat nose thing going.
Yeah, like something here just got all weird for me, and that's what I found. It was some things got a little weird, but it's panel 5 here was what kicked off, and then I started nitpicking everything.
No, Lou's face. There's something funky that can happen there, but then you get these kind of pages.
Yeah,
let me zoom that in here.
She has this dream.
That was a well-executed splash page.
Really well-executed splash pages in there. But I can hear you on that now, that maybe not every panel is like, that was the one that did it for me. But it has the right balance of heart and comedy and with an interesting story that you can't quite seem to get ahead of. It keeps you guessing. So there's my pitch on Scales and Scoundrels.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Jen,
Jeff.
I'll let Jen go first.
It was okay. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. But I wrote down that I thought the art is definitely stylized. It's not necessarily something I'm into, but it's not bad. And the story, it's definitely lighthearted and easygoing, which is not really my thing either, but it's not bad. So I wrote down, it's just not for me. It's not that it was bad at all, but it's not something that I'm interested in reading anymore or any more of, just because it's nothing that interests me. But I think like it's good for all ages, good for like a lighthearted, easy read. Like the font, there's not too much dialogue. I think the art is really interesting. Like it's stylized, so it is unique. But just not for me.
So
read this next, Jen. Read that.
So
next.
She's like really nice about this one because Adam referred it, and I'm like, "Hey, guys, Rick and Morty." She's like, "It's absolute freaking piss garbage.
This is bad. This
stupid.
Isn't bad. It's just not for me." Rick and Morty was just like that was bad.
Wow.
So I do think that the story is very clearly an all ages story. So I hope that maybe as it progresses, when they start to explore some of the lore of this world a little more, it'll develop a little more depth that I'll like better. It has the bones of a good story for me. Like the structure's there that it could turn into something really cool. Based on issue 1, I'm not sure I'm there yet, but there's enough there that I would be interested in continuing on with issue 2. And as far as the artwork goes, it is clearly very stylistic. I almost think I would like it better as like a cartoon rather than as a comic. I think that artwork would lend itself very well to animation. But in terms of the comic book artwork, it's okay for me.
I can see that. I think a cartoon made out of that would be a really good. An animated series.
Yeah,
I think that would be good.
No, I think actually. So it's like I was saying, the story's great. I think that would make a great series. Now, Adam has volume 1. We read issue 1.
Yeah.
It's a big difference because it's really like issues 2, 3, and 4 that really. The world changes dramatically because issue 1 is really just sets up Louvander, right? And when you cross issue 2, the story.
That's when the adventures actually begin.
Yeah.
That's where the adventures really begin. And I realized that when I presented to you guys, I said, hey, read at least a couple, or if you hate it, then don't. But to really take you there.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna get some more into the drive, and we can read them, because we should recap some of these things. Like, did it still hold up for us going through? And maybe like next month we can do like a follow up episode. Like, okay, did you carry on with this series? What did you think? And whatnot.
Next month, try this one.
Raiders.
Over now.
So, popped or not on Scales and Scoundrels #1?
For me, it was a pop. I did enjoy it. This story was really awesome.
Jen?
No pop for
I
me.
feel like you guys are all like talking like, and then you give it a pop.
I'm giving it a half pop.
No, you can't do it. It's pop or not.
Then
Pop or
I'm going to give it a not for now.
Good. Jeff and I are on the same team on this.
Really?
Yeah, but I could.
I thought Jeff would have popped it.
I thought Jeff would have.
That's what I said. The structure is all there, but in issue 1, there wasn't enough to sell me on it completely. I probably will read issue 2, and because I trust Adam's judgment. So
Thank you.
I gave it a pop because I finished it, and I was like, I have to read issue 2.
see, and I wasn't there. I wasn't there on. I have to read issue 2. I was there. I was like, I could read issue 2, which is why I wanted to give it a neutral. But apparently, we're not allowed to be neutral here anymore.
Well, yeah, I guess we can't. Sometimes we do like the partial pops, but okay. I guess
gave one
I guess
earlier,
we can't do that
but-
anymore, Adam. I guess we can't do the partial pops.
I mean, that was our thing for a while, but
That was
Queen
our
Jen
thing.
has declared no more partial
over.
pops.
that's over. That's over.
so bossy.
She is.
It's not my fault you guys listen to me, though. You could have just let me, like, okay, Jen, whatever.
Whoa.
But you're like, whatever you say, please tell me more.
Is that how you think our conversations are going?
I know, right?
Mine,
Yeah.
in my
In her mind, they are. They're like, no,
They
thank you,
definitely
Jen.
are.
And she's like, I'm glad you guys all like my suggestion. Like, no, it's fine. We're going to do it this way. She's like, all right, so this is what we're going to do now. Adam, you're doing this. Like, no, we're not going to do it. It's cool, Jen. She's like, yep, this is it. This is great. And they're like, okay.
I already typed
Wait,
it on
what
the
just
agenda.
happened?
It is done.
Yeah.
It's
What happened? Why do I have to sit? Why do I have to look like Garfield? I want to be Odie. So,
I didn't want to be a hooker, Jen.
Oh, you were doing the winky face. I liked it.
did you just see something?
Oh, I did see something. We should probably move on to that something.
Wow. What? I think this is one of the biggest events in mainstream comics right now. And that is Spawn Universe #1. Uno. Now, what covers do you have there? I gotta make it big again. What do you got?
So we've got. Okay, so what we've got here is we've got medieval Spawn, right?
Medieval
and then
Spawn.
we've got
Dope.
she Spawn.
She's
Great.
Spawn.
Yeah, she's awesome. And then we have kind of this. We have this version of Spawn, which has not yet been revealed yet in the universe.
Yeah,
if
but I
that
can't
even
wait.
Is a version of Spawn.
That-
but it kind
yeah.
of has to. It has to do with the heaven and hell. So anybody who doesn't understand the story of Spawn, Spawn is a hell spawn, right? He's a creature of the abyss who's been created, and there's a war going on between heaven and hell. And what's happened is the angels have fallen to earth, kind of like Lucifer had once fallen before, and the spawns of hell are trapped on earth, and the dead zones have been closed, so no one can go in and out. And there's this war going on. And it takes place across a series of different spawns, because there are many outside of the main guy that we often think of. And so this struggle is taking place across different sort of time periods, is the way the book is set up. So there is a character, his name is Cagliostro. This character we have here. See, that's Gunslinger Spawn over there. Who is turning into? I don't want to get spoiled
Here,
away, but
I'll what I'm gonna do is here's just real quick before you get into it, Adam. So here's all the different covers that are out there that you can get at your local comic shop, or the digital one gives you all the covers. I'm just gonna flash through these real quick. So we saw. Now you don't have Gunslinger Spawn.
I know. That was my favorite one, is Gunslinger Spawn, and he makes an appearance in this first issue. So essentially, the issue has. Now this is Spawn as we know him, right? This is
Correct.
the main Spawn.
Is he
Normal
considered
Spawn.
King Spawn?
No, King Spawn is this guy.
That's the King Spawn.
He's coming later.
Yeah. All right.
He's coming later.
So in this, just before Adam gets into a bit of a preview of this, so Spawn Universe, so it's script and plot. It's always Todd McFarlane, right? Now art, Jim Chang, you got Brett Booth, Steven Segovia, and Marcio Takara. I've never heard of him or her doing the interiors. So I have to say, man, I was hoping we got a little Greg Capullo in here for this first, I guess, first issue. But I guess having Brett Booth is great too, because he does some awesome Spawn artwork.
Brett Booth is incredible. The Gunslinger storyline.
I have to have Brett on the show. I've invited him so many times. He's like, yeah, let's do it. And it's like every time I try to, something conflicts.
Now's a good time because he's doing Spawn stuff.
I know, right?
I mean, here's the thing. It's a really, he's doing incredible art. The way the comic works is there's like the first 40 pages of it are the central storyline, and then there's 3 mini stories that deal with, medieval Spawn, Gunslinger Spawn, and She Spawn in the back.
Elton Spawn?
Elton Spawn.
That's going to be big, Ethan. That's going to be big. I don't know if you know that. They have actually tasked me to write that one. It's kind of a big... I didn't want to tell anybody, but Elton Spawn is going to be big, Ethan. But interesting thing about it is you have... I know you think Capullo, you could have think that many guys that come in, that you have, and it's written, it's a bit old school McFarlane style where you have where the thought boxes are almost like a novel, right? They're explaining what you're seeing. They're giving more information than you would know, and they're not inside the character's head, right? They're like a narrative of the story. You have great panel layouts, and you're setting up quite a complex, tale of this character, Cagliostro, if I'm saying that right, goes by Cogs, who seems to be this unassuming old man who actually turns out to be something much, much more frightening. And all of the spawns are thrown together in this, and there's stories taking place back in medieval times with medieval Spawn, and then She Spawn, she's having her struggles, and then Gunslinger Spawn, and then normal Spawn are stuck together in their timeline. And so you get something that is it's unwieldy in the sense that you read this first issue and you're like, this is a lot. This is not going to get solved in 3 or 4 issues. This is going to be 10, 12 issues to get this thing to come together. And maybe it's missing, one piece that I sometimes can find in Spawn, and you maybe feel this too now, is that it's maybe lacking a good solid heart for Spawn. Like his personal motivation is a little low, at least in this issue 1.
I'm going to be honest. I wasn't in love with issue 1. I appreciated the line work. I appreciated the interiors I got in it. I just felt like I was reading too much narrative and not a lot of dialogue, and it was a lot of narrative. I'm almost like, how is all of this packed like in one page? And then I turn the page, like I was actually getting exhausted. Like I hit a point where I was like, I'm kind of like I'm only doing this because I need to finish this for the show.
I went to bed halfway
break.
through because I was like, I can't do any more tonight. I'm going to finish this book tomorrow.
Yeah, you get lots of these big narrative pages. And Jim does good art, but you get so much of that narrative that is not... It's also like these pages you get just packed full of it that are not necessarily witty or insightful. They're a narrative like, and in the beginning, the Lord created the heavens and the earth.
It's like that page, and I was like, please, not more dialogue. Like, I wrote, show me. Don't just tell me, like, show me. That you're an artist. Like, draw. I don't know. It was so boring.
And didn't you find that, Jan, also too, that sometimes it would be telling you things that you're already just seeing on the page?
Yes, it was just words for no reason.
So here's my thought on this whole issue here is I read like issues 1 through 50 of Spawn a while ago, and I wasn't like a loyal fan or anything. I was kind of reading it just for comic book history sort of purposes, right? So I have no idea what was going on. At all in this universe, and I thought, well, maybe this will be a good jumping in spot, and so I thought maybe that's why there's so much explaining going on, is for people like me that are just jumping in, for the first time in a long time, or maybe the first time ever with Spawn. But then I was like, there's so much stuff that it's overwhelming, and I just felt like this is not the jumping in spot I was hoping it would be, because I just felt like, whoa, there is a lot happening here. That I have no clue. I didn't know there was more than one Spawn.
That's the whole because if you go out through the 300 plus issues, and that's what it does. The only good thing I do like about it is, but I mean, there's so much to this that it actually references in small print in certain panels to like go back and like for this what you're reading here, if you want to know more backstory on it, go to issue 308, you know, and then in another panel it's like all of a sudden you see in the bottom it's like see issues, you know, 317 through 323, and it's like, what the heck am I getting myself into?
I don't know how I feel about. I've seen that in other comics as well, and it almost feels like they're giving me a homework assignment, and I'm not sure how I feel about that.
I like it. It's like, oh, I wonder what he's talking about. Maybe I will like that too. And go. But I really like when they reference. They tell you. They don't just reference something. They actually tell you where you can go back and read it if you're interested.
Yeah, that's not a bad thing, but just shows you the magnitude of what you're getting with this issue. So if you're not familiar with Spawn and now you're entering the Spawn universe, like right here is an example, right? I can't see what's in, but it says see. Oh, wow, I can't see Spawn 316 to 318 for
Todd.
Whatever they're talking about right here. Todd. Thanks, Todd.
Yeah.
Ethan says McFarlane should call his studio Spawn Ranch.
I think that's right. See, I mean, it really felt like you were getting, there was so much in here. I would read a page sometimes and go, let me read that again. So, okay, so the vampires and the angels, they're getting together with this group, and we've got this guy in the armor here that is revealed. This guy in the armor, but I can't figure out, is he Omega? No, because Omega is the Omega Spawn. You have this guy, where is he in his armor here? You can see this armored guy, which is clearly our villain character.
Yeah.
And you got Cygor back here, who's being taken over by him. But you really have to piece this thing together, and it's a mental work. It's some textbook stuff. Yeah.
It's just I get it. He's trying to create a universe. I mean, maybe it'll get better, but I feel like they're packing a lot of characters, and it's not even like, you know, like Spawn. Like I feel like, you know, Spawn as we know it, right? The Spawn we were introduced to in 1992. I almost feel like he's not really the main character here because the focus is so much. Like it's almost like they're trying to make it equally focused on other characters that it's kind of like confusing at times of like who. Like, where are we going with this? I know
they're
it's
all
only
being
issue
spun
one,
off, though, right? They're all being spun off into their own comics, right?
Right.
Yeah.
This
so
is
this
the
is
genesis of. Yeah.
It's like what DC does every, like, you know, however many
Every
months.
2 years.
Yeah, they like all of a sudden relaunch it, and then you get this massive like comic book event that spawns off into other different, you know, series, and that's what we're getting here. But I don't know. I had such high hopes, you know. I love Todd McFarlane. I think he's cool. I don't really know the guy. Maybe I wouldn't think he's cool because they kind of say don't meet your idols. But I just had a lot of hopes for this, and sadly, for me, it fell short.
I don't want to completely rag on it. I think that a lot of the artwork is still very good. Character designs are really cool. Like
art's awesome.
Totally.
Art's awesome. It's
like,
modern comic book style superheroes. I mean,
there's nothing bad with that for me. And like, I thought medieval Spawn
pages. These Brett Booth pages.
Oh, Brett Booth's stuff is ridiculous. The detail, yeah.
I liked the medieval Spawn story a lot. I thought that one had a lot of potential for me. And so, like, you know, who knows? Like, I'll probably go ahead and come back for, you know, next issues and see if any of it is worth sticking with. But right now, I just feel overwhelmed. Yeah, look at that artwork. God, medieval Spawn looks cool.
It's just so dope. The look. But I feel like Todd had a really unbelievable opportunity where he brought all the attention of the comics industry to this launch, and, you know, delivered pages, you know, of that scope from an art standpoint. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And then we just didn't get really any emotional connection to the characters, and we just packed so much information in that it was a chore. It was a chore to get through. Yeah, it's kind of a shame because Todd is really exceptional. So
yeah, Jen, what are any final thoughts on Spawn Universe #1?
I have no experience with Spawn. This was my first Spawn comic book ever, and yeah, if the narration is typical, that was way too much. Like I said, I want the art to show me what's going on, and like you said, they did show you in the art, but then they still told you about it. So they could have cut out so much dialogue. I don't know. I didn't love the art. It's just like so chaotic. It's just, there's so much, just like the words. There's so much art going on and then so many words going on. It's kind of like hard to pay attention to both things at the same time. So it kind of like takes away from each other. And I guess like, I know it's like the Spawn universe is the whole point, but there were way too many spawns. Like they just throw them all at you and with no explanation, no backstory. They're just all there. And then, trying to keep track of like which spawn is which and where they're coming from. And then all the other universe stories are so short compared to like the first one.
Welcome to Spawn.
Well, then I obviously
Spawn's always been wordy though.
It's
always been a lot of narrative.
The concept of Spawn is really cool. I like the whole like heaven and hell being trapped here and then he's like hunting them and stuff. I really like the idea, but I just like didn't care for the execution whatsoever. So I guess I'm just not a Spawn fan.
All right, so for me, this didn't pop. This didn't pop for me.
No, I was really hoping it was going to. No.
Yep, we're all on the same page on this one. This one did not pop.
Did not pop. Wow.
Sorry, guys.
I will.
I'm shocked that this did not pop, but it did not.
Right here, Jasper playing 9. So much potential to give us a 90s throwback. Missed opportunity. I agree.
Yep.
I agree.
There's going to be some cool action figures coming out of it, though.
Well, right. Yeah. I mean, Spawn's someone mentioned in the chat. Maybe I can find it. But it says, Spawn. Nowadays Spawn's really more of a toy line that happens to have a comic book.
There it is.
So I'm not sure who said that. So shout out to whoever said that. Just copy and paste it. But so anyways, popless on Spawn universe. So let's get into some game stuff. What do we got going on, Grizz?
So we just had E3, so obviously a lot of the really big news was in the previous week, but one thing that caught my eye this week that I wanted to talk a little bit about is with the Halo Master Chief Collection. Halo Infinite's coming out later this year, but Microsoft and 343 Studios is not stopping their support for the Master Chief Collection. In fact, one of the big things that they were talking about this week is that they are discussing expanding the maximum player count for certain game modes. So like they're already bringing back big team mode, which was the 8v8 multiplayer, which was a big deal when that first got introduced in the Halo series because it's always been about such small teams. But now they're talking about upping it to as many as 30 players at the same time, 40 players. So absolutely a huge jump. And the reason this is interesting news is because a lot of people think that this is going to be indicative of what kind of multiplayer we can expect with Halo Infinite. People are like hypothesizing that we're going to get the Battle Royale Fortnite style game mode or just big battles like you see in Battlefield. Now I know, Nile, you were a Halo fan.
Still am, huge Halo fan.
Is this the sort of thing that would get you back into playing the multiplayer if they increase the team size? That's something that would strike your fancy?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I would like to do that, especially because to be honest, me and my friends, a lot of them are actually getting back into gaming. And now with some of the new friends I have all over the world, we've talked about games we like and whatnot. Now I can actually grow my local team and mix it with like my international team. So, I think that would be pretty sweet. And I haven't played Halo Online in probably 8 months. So, and I'll be honest, I don't really have the drive to, but if I could bring more of my friends in, I'm gun-ho. I'm ready for it.
What about you, Adam, Jen? Were you guys Halo fans?
No.
No, not in particular. It was fine. FPSs were never my call. Yeah. There've been some good ones. Not that I'm saying Apex has done some cool stuff. Battlefield. Not that I'm saying it hasn't been cool. It just isn't my go-to.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. It's not my go-to.
The closest I get to an FPS is Mass Effect, and I drudge through the combat so I can play the story. So
fair enough.
Not a fan of anything Halo or Call of Duty or anything like that.
The reason I thought
that's all I play is just really first-person shooters.
One of the reasons I thought this was so cool. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Adam.
No, I was just agreeing.
Oh, okay. So one of the reasons I thought this was so cool is because the Master Chief Collection is available through Microsoft's Game Pass, and so that's depending on if you get just the console version or the Ultimate version that includes the PC, it's like $15 a month. And then you can download the Master Chief Collection as part of Game Pass. So, it's very accessible. The most accessible Halo has been ever in terms of the ability for people to get in and start playing. And they're making it so that you could potentially have even more people playing all at once. Nice. My biggest concern with it is that none of the maps were designed to have this many players on it. So unless they're going to introduce some bigger maps, this is going to get pretty chaotic, and I'm curious to see how that will pan out.
I never thought of that, actually. I wonder if like the map will limit though, like how many players. Like you can have bigger teams, but maybe it limits something else. I wonder how. That's a good question. I wonder how the map, like how they're going to do that with the maps.
We'll have to wait and find out.
Yeah,
like right now, this is all
out.
in. They're talking about their plans for that, and I think it's kind of one of those things they're trying to gauge people's interest. And if it turns out something that people would be really excited about, then they will. Yeah, let's ramp it up. Let's see what we can do before we roll out Halo Infinite.
Nice. All right. Awesome. Thanks for sharing that. I'm looking forward to it. Maybe you'll have to join. You'll have to join the team, Grizz.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Master Chief's in the house. Throwing high fives.
Master Jeff.
All right. So now we need the Grizz game of the week.
Yeah, this is my indie pick of the week. This was a game that was showcased as part of Day of the Devs during the E3 press conference events. This game is called Unbeatable. It's from D-Cell Games. This is their first game. It was first announced back in December of 2018. They released their first trailer in 2020, and then in April of 2021, so earlier this year, they launched a Kickstarter, and it was fully funded in 15 hours.
This is a crowd-funded video game?
This is a crowd-funded video game.
What?
And so that's why I thought it was perfect for us to talk about here. They've already raised over $300,000, and they've had all sorts of stretch goals and everything for this. But basically, the game is a rhythm game where you are, you're striking. I guess they're like bad guys. I don't know how to describe them. You're hitting these targets in rhythm with the game.
Are we gonna watch it?
We are. I was just gonna get into it. So we're not only gonna talk about games that Grizz recommends. We had to up it up a notch, all right? Because Grizz plays these games. So right now, while Grizz is talking, we're going to play live footage or recorded footage.
Talk about it.
Well, we're all going to talk about it. But so not only does he actually recommend these games because he finds them and they're cool, but he actually purchases these games. He plays these games. So this
he actually pays for them.
He actually pays for them.
This one is a demo. There's a whole bunch of demos for games out from E3. This is Unbeatable White Label. And that's the demo. It's available on Steam right now. The demo first launched in May. So you can jump in on this stuff right now.
Oh, shit. Tucci's in the house. Look at that.
Hi, Bill.
What? Great show. Love you all. Tucci.
Love you, Billy.
Dude, the
Thank you for the
baby,
$5 super chat.
So
wow, I hope you're splitting that with me.
He just paid himself.
Niall, I hope you're splitting that with me.
Oh, yeah. That's like me giving the show $5. I appreciate it, Billy.
When I started doing this tutorial, I started with the keyboard controls, and I got to say I much prefer using a controller. It was much more intuitive on an actual controller. But so like this is how the overworld of the game is going to be. You're getting the internal dialogue of the main character, Beat, and she's talking about how she's late to band practice, and that's where we're going to be heading here. You can skip ahead a little bit. But so like you're running through the world and then running here. Here's the band. We're getting ready for band practice, and they're going to complain. One complaint I have is that the dialogue, as you can see, overlaps.
Yeah.
And I think it's because you can move around during the cutscenes. So I think I was supposed to move all the way into the door and move off to one side so that I could actually read everything. But I didn't do that. So I do think it's weird that they allow you to position yourself in a way that prevents you from reading the dialogue. That's a small complaint for me because that's really not the point of the game from my perspective. But so this is how the story of the game is going to go. Having conversations with these characters. Basically, you're in a startup band, right? But then the actual gameplay. Skip ahead a little bit, Nile.
Keep going.
Yeah, we're just going to jump into the tutorial part. So this is what the actual gameplay is like. You wait till the targets move into the target zone, and you have to press the corresponding button to jump up and hit that target. Or like in Rock Band or Guitar Hero games, there's ones where you have to press and hold the button, like for a run. There's ones where you have to dodge things. So like it's very much a rhythm game in the genre of like Rock Band or Guitar Hero, and it has some really cool music. And the thing that I like best about it is the whole aesthetic is very anime, Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah, definitely.
What do you guys think of what you're seeing here?
I think it's cool. I'm gonna actually. So this is the tutorial, but I'm gonna play the actual game footage that you gave me.
Please do.
Of you playing the actual stuff. So let's do this. Let's see if I can.
Yeah, I don't quite know what to make of it just yet. It looks fun and whimsical.
All right, so now we're into true gameplay now, right?
Yeah, this is on normal difficulty. The song is called Proper Rhythm. I don't know if you can hear the music on it or not.
All right, so now...
So it's like Guitar Hero style where...
Do you get to move forward, or do you just keep hitting certain... Like, do certain moves go to each note that's coming to you?
So yeah, you have to press a certain button to jump up and hit the notes on the top line, or a different button to hit the ones below. And then you also use those same buttons to dodge for the times where you need to dodge. Yeah, okay, I appreciate you turning up that a little bit.
Yeah, I turned that up a little bit right there, homie.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's kind of like Guitar Hero-esque.
Right.
Now, how much does this game go for on Steam?
So right now, they just have the demo out, and that's free. Free download for the demo. It has like 6 songs on it right now.
Yep.
And then the actual game is... The release date is to be determined, but they are still doing what they call slacker backer. So if you missed the Kickstarter, but you can still donate, and they have stretch goals and things. They've already added a whole bunch of stuff through their stretch goals, like online multiplayer. They're going to have some extra remixes and acoustic versions of songs. And the thing that I thought was the coolest was that they are including the ability to enter your own music into the game.
That's cool.
So that you can play your own music on there as well.
Nice.
I don't know the details on how they set up the beat map editor, as they called it, but that sounds pretty cool to me.
Nice, man. That's cool, dude. I kind of like the music, I'm not gonna lie.
That was the other thing I wanted to say, was the music has some variety. It's like a lot of it, there's electronic, there's some this particular song is kind of funky.
Yeah.
There's some pop punk type music in there. I don't know. I won't go so far as to say the music is for everyone, because it definitely is not all encompassing. But there's a lot of different genre in there, and it's all like music written for this game, and then remixes of the songs written for this game.
Nice, very cool, man. Great share right there. So yeah, everyone head on over to Steam, download the demo. If you do download the demo, let us all know, let Grizz know what you thought in the comments on this episode. So feel free to type it in, let us know. And if you want to see Grizz play any more of this, you got to head over to his Twitch account.
Twitch.tv/GoodGameGrizz.
Yes.
Look at that plug. Look at that plug. Wow.
I'm telling you, man.
And I do play a wide variety of games. So if that wasn't for you, I play first-person shooters. I play Civilization, like 4K strategy games, sports games. I'm all over the place.
Sweet.
Nice.
Awesome. Now, speaking of games, though, I mean, we talk a lot of video games and stuff, but I mean, we really got to get into stuff because, Adam, I don't know if you guys know, he kind of did some stuff in tabletop games. He knows a little bit about tabletop games, and I think he's got a game for our tables to top right now.
Boom. Okay, so here we go. Here we go. This one.
Oh, it's a small game. What?
Yeah, this is a quickie. No problems. Not a big deal.
Wow.
Okay, we're gonna go up one more time and boop, 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 boop.
All right.
Boom.
Wow, look at those
This is
biceps.
Zombicide, second edition, and this is one of my all-time favorites. Cool Mini or Not is the company behind this game. It's this rad zombie slaughter game where you can see here, you're packed in you run these scenario missions where you build the board uniquely each time that you are going to play. They have usually about 15, 16 missions in the rule book. You build the board. It has these 9 pieces that can be assembled in many different ways. And the way it works out is you're trying to recover certain items or objects or free certain people in the game. And you get to play these survivors, right, who've survived the plague and are blazing through the city. And you play as a co-op game. You're all working as a team against the zombie horde. And so each time you go into a room, it populates with zombies. And then at the end of every turn, you draw cards from the zombie pile, and the zombies start pouring onto the board. So it escalates. And the more zombies you kill, the more powerful you become, and then the more zombies come. So you'll be on a board packed with 90 minis trying to crunch down your characters as you're shotgunning, macheting your way through the zombies to get your objectives. Super fun game. It's like an hour to an hour and a half play, depending on it. There is incredible things such as they brought. This is the cool thing. The presidential box they added on the second edition. You could play as Trump or Abraham Lincoln or Barack Obama, but with the machine gun version.
That's cool.
And they have expansions for it. They've done all kinds of expansions. They did a cool one here with the Washington, D.C. expansion that came out that has, once again, different maps and scenarios, and it has some different survivors. And each one of the survivors has a special power that lets you do something. Maybe you're slippery, so you can move through zombies without getting trapped, or you're good at ranged weapons. And what they did this time, which was super cool, because this was their original hit that launched this company, Cool Mini, which has now become the #1 Kickstarter board game company probably out there, is they did this. They did the role-playing game.
Oh, that's cool.
So this is super fun if anybody likes tabletop RPGs. I love them. It really captures the essence of the game, where you have 2 phases in this, where you have lay out the plan phase and then go slaughter the zombies and complete the objective phase. And your character runs on adrenaline. So your adrenaline, you have essentially an adrenaline level that goes up and down, and that affects your ability to do things. Really fun storytelling, a way to take the game that you're playing. You can use all the minis and escalate it into much more, into a long-term experience. We should play it sometime. I know Jen likes these. Anyway, this is a rad game, rad company, built totally on the backs of crowdfunding. Jeff,
Lovely.
Please.
Jeff,
are you muted?
Sorry, I was muted. What is the difference between Zombicide second edition and first edition? Because I played a lot of the first edition.
Yeah, so what it's really just done, Grizz, is they cleaned up a little bit of the way the character sheets are, the items, and I think what they ended up merging some of the elements from like Toxic City Mall, not without the toxic zombies, but they merged a couple of the elements that just made it easier to get into playing and a little cleaner. And it's all new missions, right? New art that's fresh, same characters, but new fresh art. And they, and now instead of just having that, you can have an ultimate zombie, right? That's the monster kill 'em all zombie on the board. Right. That's the hardest to kill. But now they have 4 of them in the box, and you draw a card for which one that appears. They call it the Abomination, if you remember. And so they've just embellished all aspects of it. There's more characters.
It's all just more fleshed out.
It's more fleshed out, more powers. And so if you played the first one and you enjoyed it, you definitely want second edition. And if you've never played the first one, second edition is easy to jump right into, and you have about 90 pounds of board game to get into. So it's a workout at the same time.
I know Jen and I played it a lot with our friend Rick.
You did?
First edition. So I'm very interested in second edition.
Not a fan.
Jen, tell me. No, you didn't like it.
Not a fan. I'm not like a huge zombie person. I'm not a big like.
I'm not either.
It was boring. I don't like it. Sorry, I don't really have like a reason, because I have friends that like love it, and I'm just.
What wasn't fun? Did you not like co-op games? Or
Adam created it, right, Jen?
No,
I love.
No, I didn't.
Gloomhaven is an amazing.
So what's a good example of a board game you really like?
Gloomhaven.
Gotcha. Yeah, I know it well.
It's really amazing. It's you level up your characters every mission. You can get like random stuff. So you buy loot cards. You have like powers that you have to arrange them and then work together. It's very much like a.
It's a board game version of D&D at the core of it. Right? Yeah.
I love the teamwork in that.
No, it's an amazing game, and Frosthaven only is gonna even make it even more dynamic. So.
And as you said, they're like the leader like right now in like crowdfunding their stuff, right? Probably one of the biggest gaming companies that's crowdfunding.
Yeah,
Gloomhaven and Frosthaven for sure. Yep.
Now, but
they have the number one
crowdfunded
Frosthaven,
some
which is
games
the follow-up
too, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yep. I did two games. Yeah.
Let me ask you a question though, really quick, because there may be people out there watching this live or recorded that might be like beating the realm of like developing maybe their IP into a game or something like that. What is the what's the difference in crowdfunding a game versus a book? I mean, is there a difference in like actually crowdfunding it?
Yeah, I mean, one is the audience is about 10x in size, at least. Like Keanu Reeves did a comic book. It's the most successful one ever, and it's Keanu Reeves. All right, I mean, I don't know how much bigger you get. It is 1.5 million. And now Ethan did amazing and probably compiled with his books even surpassed that. He's a total phenom as well. But Frosthaven did almost 13 million. And like we did 600,000 on Escape the Night, the board game, which in comics would be like, I'd be in the top 5. And in board games, that was a base hit. So the scope is so much greater on what you can achieve. So that the fan base is much bigger. The community is essentially the board game community, which is much more lucrative than the comics community in general. The money in it is standing by waiting at Kickstarter to buy the next game. Unlike in comic books where they're waiting to buy the next Marvel or DC or manga book, the buyers of board games are waiting on Kickstarter to buy the next game. So it's that makes it exciting. It's the same kind of work. Your competition height though is couldn't be any harder. Like the bar is as high as you can imagine. Fully finished games, 100,000 in. Spend before day one of the campaign for lots of guys.
I think it's cool about Pot Games, all the minis that are available. Like you can really, I think it's easier to do stretch goals for things like a board game than it is for like a comic book. Yeah, you can always release more art, but you can do new characters, new maps, new stories, new campaigns, new minis, all kinds of stuff with board games.
I totally agree with you, Jen. When we were doing Asunder, my second board game, a tabletop RPG game, we had 9 minis, which I think I've shown you guys before in the past. Here's one of them.
Yeah.
We would add, each stretch goal was another mini, and there's 9 of these, and it's this awesome set. And so you backed it at a certain price point, and then you walk away with this extra box of just rad minis that embellish the game. And it really, I agree, Jen. It has a lot more going for it because it's a game in the first place, and crowdfunding is a gamification of pre-ordering things, right? So it's easier to game it.
Well, I like the synergy of the Zombicide board game with the role-playing game because you can take minis. And I love minis in D&D. That's why I don't like doing digital online stuff because I like having characters and minis and maps. So I really like that you can use all of that stuff for a pen and paper campaign. It's really cool.
No, I agree.
Very cool.
I agree.
Very cool. We just had a
so this got a pop.
Yeah, go bye.
This got a pop. Unfortunately, Jen did not, like Zombicide.
Well, she hasn't played Zombicide second edition yet,
or the RPG,
or the
RPG for sure.
Yeah,
definitely.
Okay, fine. That works.
every show, Adam's like, I'm definitely gonna run a game. We're definitely gonna play a game. I'm just sitting here waiting one day.
Oh. But for the record, Grizz is the award-winning game master. So, we know just for the record. But yes, let's do it. I keep waiting. Nile keeps not making it happen. So
I'm happy to run a game.
I'm waiting for you guys. I'm waiting for you. I check the mail every day. I want like a legit invitation. I want a wax sealed envelope saying you have been chosen to play the game, and so I can run in the house and be like, I've been chosen.
The first time we play Adam's game, Adam needs to run it. There's no way I'm going to butcher Adam's game for our first time playing it.
Okay, we're playing one of those. Let's set a date. Hit up the Facebook chat. Over and out.
We're doing it. I'm not even joking. We're doing this.
This week it happens, or we're not friends anymore. I mean, we set a date this week.
We set a date this week.
This week.
Okay.
Oh, gosh.
I got all the time in the world. Let's do it.
Aw, her sloth shirt. Yes, all about naps. It's just one of those days. A rainy Thursday.
It was nice today.
Was it? Did it rain down there?
Yeah, it's humid as shit.
It was an absolute beautiful day here. It was like mid-70s, no humidity, blue sky, So I was like, I'm mowing the lawn without a shirt.
Where's the meme for that?
I did that already. I did.
What?
Nile mowed the yard. gonna have to bring up more memes.
New memes.
On that note, if people in the audience want to meme us, I know that Jen would appreciate that.
Yeah, I don't know how many we can make in a week. It took me like 2 hours to do those.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Well, anyways, I gotta say, man, we had a great show, but we have to pop into one more thing. And that's what we got for cosplay this week.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. Oh, shit. Oh, no. I got to pull up the pictures. Oh, man. Okay. Hold on. I got to figure out how to do this again. Okay. So, Valorant 1 year anniversary was this month. So, they actually sponsored a whole bunch of really awesome cosplayers to do some of their characters. And they like shared them. And some of them were like so cool. Okay. Hold on. Let me make sure I know how to do this. Is it working?
There it is. Well done.
So this one is, his name is Phil Mizuno, and it's a character named Euro. I have never played Valorant before, so I don't know that much about it, but he did like a really cool streetwear version of this character. So like the whole entire photo shoot is like on all these really cool graffiti locations, and his like, he has different outfits and stuff that are all streetwear inspired. So I thought that was like a really cool take on a different character. I gotta figure out how to do this better. Maybe you should have done this.
I think you're doing really nice work.
Talk amongst yourself while I figure
this is really, really nice work. Really,
Thanks.
really nice work. Yeah,
Okay.
very, very
Wonderful.
proud of what you've done here.
All right.
So what made you want to showcase Valorant this week?
I saw that they sponsored all these really awesome cosplayers, and usually stuff that it's sponsored, they do like, it's always really, really high quality. And I think the variety of cosplays that come with Valorant are really cool. Like this one is Mothchild CC as a character named Sky. So it's like a totally different style, a totally different take on a different character. So I thought that was really cool. And they all like make all their own weapons and guns and stuff like that. So that was really cool. I'm sweating. I'm really nervous.
Are you thinking about merch?
Oh my god.
Oh, merch.
And this is worse than merch. I have to like do stuff. Okay. And this one's really cool. Okay, so this is a girl named Cutie Pie Sensei. She's cosplaying as a character named Astra. So her arm is
rad.
Her arm is made out of silicone, and she actually made this herself. And so since it's silicone, it's like completely flexible. So there's like a whole bunch of really cool photos of her like wearing it and bending her arm and stuff like that. She said it's one of the hardest things that she's ever had to make before, which I've never worked with silicone, and so I can only imagine like how hard that would be. But another really cool thing about whenever they cosplay stuff from video games, usually you get really cool photos of them, like action shots, really cool locations. I feel like with comic book stuff, there's only so many different like hero poses, but with video game stuff, usually it's like more variety, different character styles and vibes. So this one, we featured Alicia Marie Body on here before with her Mortal Kombat stuff.
Oh, damn. Nice.
Yeah, and like you should check out her
Rad.
her
Totally
Twitter.
rad.
Hell yeah.
Check out her Twitter because she did a really, really awesome cinematic video with this character. There's graphics.
Is she the one that did that really cool female predator? I think I've seen. Is that?
I don't know. There's a lot of really awesome female.
Because she's pretty epic.
Yes, I think
I've seen
she
a lot of her
did.
stuff. She's epic stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. But and this is another photographer, Alive Alf. I have featured him several times on the show. He's one of my favorite photographers. But seriously, check out her Twitter. The cinematic video that they did is like really awesome, super high quality. Really gets you into that character. And plus, she's like so cool and such a badass. So you can really feel that like in there. Okay, and this one's really cool. This is Stella Chu. This character is called Killjoy. And she actually made this turret herself. And if you check out her
That's
Twitter,
cool.
she's got like a behind the scenes video. So you can actually see how she like made everything and put it together. And the photographer is Martin Wong. He is really great with color. So the photo shoot is really, really cool, really interesting. But like I said, it's a huge variety. You had some like nature, some urban, some like high saturated colors, tech stuff. So really awesome cosplays that came out of Valorant. And I really appreciate when any company can really promote their work using other cosplayers and hire them to feature them and things like that. And they all put a lot of effort into it, which
Clearly.
Yeah. So Riot Games has really great quality products, really great advertising, really good marketing, really good stories.
Everything, yeah.
Yeah, Riot Games is really like phenomenal. Everything they put out is super fantastic. And they do League of Legends cosplays all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So they really respect like the whole world of cosplay, which is really cool. So
and for the Kill Journal, I hired a cosplayer to do, she was an Armored Heart cosplay. She did this super amazing job. She made the costume out of she 3D printed it, and it was out of, so she looked like she was cell shaded herself, like she was.
Oh, that's cool.
And really cool thing. I think there's so much creativity to it. It's really awesome.
Very cool. Nice. Thanks, Jen.
Oh, you're welcome.
Awesome. And then also, everyone, just real quick, today I uploaded. So I know I get a lot of like private messages, DMs on like streaming and how do you do this, how do you do that. We've partnered up with Joby on some equipment, and I just posted today, if you guys want to check it out, unboxing and review of the Joby GorillaPod mobile vlogging kit, which is actually really cool because a lot of you, I know you go to conventions and things, and maybe you want to interview creators and whatnot. You should check out some of their equipment. Check out my video, see if it's anything you like. And if it is, head on over. There's an affiliate link that should get you a discount and whatnot on the item. And it's really cool. It works very well.
My camera's on a Joby.
You're on a Joby GorillaPod right now. Like, it's no joke. Very sturdy. You guys really should check it out. So head on over to our channel or just head over to joby.com and check out this link here. And if you're looking to get into streaming and you need a good setup to get going, right here's the perfect kit for right on your desk or on the go. Really cool to check out. Jen, do you have anything before we take off for tonight?
Oh, follow me on Twitter because I'm going to be streaming tomorrow, but I can't tell you where. So
nice.
Follow me on Twitter. That's where I can post stuff.
Yes. Grizz.
You can, again, find me on twitch.tv/goodgamegrizz, where I stream a variety of video games. Also, check out the movie podcast that I co-host called Remember the Film. This week, we're actually re-ranking all the movies we've watched so far for Remember the Film. So go back and listen to all the old episodes and then watch our re-rank episode.
Nice. Mr. Lawson, what do we got going on?
You can find me at Failed Superhero or at Failed Superheroes Club on Facebook, which will be changing to Gifted Rebels shortly. Yes. You can check out the Kill Journal on Indiegogo right now. Files are at the printer. The 8th is already delivering now. You can find Asunder on Kickstarter where you can pre-order that, or you can find it on DriveThruRPG. If you're a digital person, you can get it right now. So that welcome to my world of comics and games.
Awesome. Excellent. All right, everyone. Well, thanks for tuning into the Weekend Pop. It was a great show. I had a lot of fun. Thanks to all of you in the chat, participating, asking questions, jokes, having a good time. It was a pleasure seeing all of you. And we hope that you'll all join us next week. So the Weekend Pop is every Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So that would be 8 p.m. Central Time for the Grizz and Miss Jen, and 6 p.m. for you West Coasters out there. So everyone have a great time, and
forget Mountain Time.
Yeah, no Mountain Time. What is that? Is that a real thing? Is that a myth?
No,
I've never met anyone.
Yeah. All right, everyone, have a great night. We'll see you all in the next one.
Bye.
Bye. Hey everyone, thank you for joining us on POPXP. If you haven't already, make sure to click that subscribe button and also click the bell for notifications when we go live and we upload some awesome new content. Also, don't forget to head on over to Twitter and follow us at the POPXP and over on Instagram at the POPXP. Thanks again everyone, and we'll see you soon.